Bye.
Hey,
Hello.
everybody.
Hey, buddy.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, everyone.
I don't know who's everybody here yet because Aaron
We got a
For
lot
some
here. I think there's some
didn't
people
do
that
our Monday night, and it's something weird happening over there. I don't know.
something very weird, but I see a bunch of names here, and I think that means that there are a lot of people like us. This is maybe not the after party, but the oh my god, get me out of there party. So hey,
It's like, what do you call this? Yeah, what do you call it if it's not an after party? So we had comments from earlier. Liz Gale, she said, "Can't wait.
Yeah.
She'll be here soon with us."
That's
Very
gonna be
good.
awesome. Looking forward to this.
Yeah, and ask for a comfy seat, please. People in Leah's chat. I'm just posting everything here from earlier. Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome.
We're here.
Yay. We're
Yay.
here. We're not
Look
clear.
Penny 5A, Penny 5A, Penny 5A.
There's a question for you already, Chad.
Oh yeah, little Chad and Mr. Bull excited for tonight.
Yes.
Nice. I was told earlier today by
Hi,
a
Renee.
very Sostowski-ish gentleman that I'm
Dad
gonna.
Sostowski's here. Scooby-Dooski's
Yeah,
here.
I was told that I'm gonna have a Mr. Bill by tomorrow. So,
Nice.
Can you hear it? Can you hear him?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Oh shit!
I'm
look
having
at
way-
me.
I'm having way
you're
too much
squeezing
fun
my
with him.
guts out. Ah.
He's my
Dad
new
ran
best
away.
friend.
Look. Dawn is
Love him.
here.
Hey,
So
John.
for anybody that
He's
remembers,
here.
the original Mr. Bill was actually like clay, and he would always get flattened by things on SNL.
I just watched the SNL. John sent me the link because I didn't really know.
Did he? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
So lots of people running from Jason.
I know. Hey,
Sorry
guys.
about that, guys.
We hear ya.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
very
what about
lighthearted
that?
here.
Huh?
Yeah,
funny.
wow.
Here's my imitation. No, you're wrong. Oh yeah, I guess you're right. Okay, you win. It seems to be how it was going at the beginning there.
I started with an open mind the first time, and then I just had a very hard time paying attention. It was so painful, just because he seems like so in still, so hard to I don't know. I just couldn't follow. And then today I was watching a little bit, but I was already not really trying, this time around. I'm sorry to say, I was already biased.
Yeah,
What
this
about
is-
you, Chad?
Yeah, Chad.
It sounds like he needs a picture of Xenu sent to his address.
All right, you're right. Chad did it.
Yep.
That's right.
We got to get him on the plan here,
What'd you think, Mayor?
I had to take my blood pressure meds because I was just like, okay, I usually don't take them till about 11 p.m. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. There's a couple things I could get into, but it's just, one thing that really annoys me is when he acts as if he can compare, Christianity and all this. Like he knows about every religion, he knows all this stuff, and he really doesn't. Because I don't think, first of all, he understands the difference between a mainstream religion and a fundamentalist mindset religion, quote, religion. So, there's the total fundamental, which means like you have to follow exactly what they say or else. And Scientologists at its core is fundamental.
Mm-hmm.
Certain religions, like he said, oh, someone's a nominal Christian, da da da. That's not fundamental. That's just, Christianity. It's up to interpretation. It's complete. It's such a broad. I just hate when people just, lump Christianity into one. They want to put it in one package. So hey.
Yes.
So
Tell
that's one thing. Then the tax exemption thing got me all. So I was
I
like, okay,
know,
I'm
right?
done.
That's the
Yeah.
place to start the conversation, right?
Yeah.
What did he say about that? I missed that part.
We'll
he
get
thought
there.
he thought that they should
Oh.
be.
Let's
wow.
just fill Dawn at. We're talking. What are we talking about, Steve?
Oh, so Aaron over on his channel right now, his Monday night, he's doing a second follow-up debate to something that he did earlier, a month or so ago, with this dude Jason something or other from Australia, and yeah, Jason is relatively. I saw the word earlier pop up on screen. Kind of inarticulate when it comes to communicating his point and what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
He's very. He says that he much prefers talking about the philosophical, and for anybody that's ever studied philosophy, that just means a bunch of crap, because it's just it's just all over the place. So he's talking all over the place, and Aaron's going bullet point by bullet point. Like, here's where you're wrong. Here's where you're wrong. Here's where you're wrong, and making a fantastic argument against the guy. So it's something, if you get the chance to maybe watch it at 2 times speed. If you're bored one day, go for it, but don't kill yourself.
If you have the patience, also.
Excuse me, don't unalive yourself.
And
Sorry.
Aaron was stating facts, and this guy was just like, well, kind of mamby-pamby about it. And another thing that really got me going was just, it kind of felt like he was minimizing people's stories, people abuse, and that, oh, well, what percentage this, what percentage
Totally,
that.
Steve.
I don't care. One person abused is too many. And, even he recognized that there are thousands. There are thousands that are speaking out, let alone those that leave and don't say anything. They don't want to get disconnected from. So one person's too many, but thousands and thousands. I mean, come on, people. All right, I'll get off my soapbox about that.
No,
Marcus, is there in debate to say? Was that tonight? Yes, Aaron is on with him right now. Somebody said also here, Pat O says, disappointing because I so look forward to Monday Night Lives. Me too. When I went there and then I saw that, and then I'm like, oh boy, and then I'm like, okay. But
I need a 4-person panel, or 3 or 4 people chatting back and forth.
At least on Mondays.
On Mondays, right? Yeah. On Mondays, that's absolutely what I'm looking for. I think we're all looking for it. It's the first day of the week, a little stressful. Just need to have kind of a decompress, and usually that's what we get.
Aaron explained that the panel he wanted for tonight wasn't available, but then they're gonna do Monday Night Live another night. But yeah, kind of like messed up with my with my routine.
That's because we have a special guest in Liz Gale tonight. We probably just stole her from him.
Yeah.
So, and he already had like 3 lives today with Reese. So I mean, it's kind of hard to do that. So
and Liz has she has some special things planned. I'm so excited. We're all so excited. And she has a book coming out very, very, very soon. So yeah, lots of good stuff.
Right.
This is the part just to say that Jenny Wong says, don't judge us all by Jason, but he also said we shouldn't say Xeno out of respect for Scientologists. That's about the part where I stopped because we had to come here. But when he said, oh, use the word Xeno too much, he didn't say Xeno, he says the X word, right? So it's like he says, shouldn't say the X word.
That's right.
And then Aaron was like, oh, what's the problem with that? And then he's like, oh, well, in one word, respect. And I'm like,
this guy?
That guy.
Yeah.
No, Jenny.
Okay, everybody.
No. Two things we got to handle. We got to deal with
first. Don't make her wait too long.
Oh, no. We will not. First things first, for everybody that's here. Our very own, hold on, let me figure out which hand. Our very own Marilyn is inches away from monetization from her. She just needs a few more watch hours. So if you're watching on anybody else's channel, I'm just going to ask you guys.
Thank you, everyone, for subscribing. I got 1,000 subscribers.
She got 1,000 subscribers on Saturday. It was fantastic. So please, everybody, do us all the favor, swing on over and watch this from Marilyn's channel tonight. Let's get her those watch hours while we're here. She won't know for like a day or two, but let's all clock in on her channel and give her those watch hours that she needs. So
thank you, Steve-O.
Second thing, my pleasure. Absolutely. I know how much of a challenge it was for me, and so let's get you there too. Second thing, there's a rumor out there that this guy right here is John Poe. And I just want to clarify to all the haters out there.
What?
As much
didn't
as I
know.
would love to be a 30-year retired cop / police chief / military guy who cruises around the South Pacific every chance that I get, I am not John Poe. I am Denver Steve-O. Get it right, SOBs. There you
I
go.
think I imagine who you're talking about, but I missed that. I'm
I
gonna
didn't
have
know
to
that.
look
Yeah, no, yeah. Apparently
That's funny.
I'm Poe. So just wanted to clarify that. Now, what were you saying,
I
Marilyn?
missed it all. Okay.
yeah.
The moment you've all been waiting for. We have our special guest. We're so excited. Give me the thumbs up if you're ready. All righty, here she
Yay.
is. The one and only Liz Gale.
Hi.
Hey, Liz.
The few and only never ends.
Well, we're 4 of thousands. I always say we're just
Oh,
the nutty ones. We're all
Actually-
we're your
4 of
allies.
7.8 billion, but you know.
Have you guys seen Mitch's follow-up last night to his, because he had a Saturday night Ask Me Anything, and then last night he did a follow-up to that, to the Saturday
Yeah.
night show, and then he on the Saturday night show, he asked people in chat, like, are you a first generation, what is it called, first generation, a born in,
Oh,
like
yeah.
second, third
Yep.
generation, a never in, which he classified as somebody who was never in, but maybe in another cult, or maybe is like an activist or of some sort, and a watcher who's like more just watching for whatever, which I don't know if there's, anyway. And then apparently the Never-Ends are giving a huge middle finger to Scientology, because when he put the graph up, it looked like this. So
Yeah, it did.
I didn't see that.
That's fitting.
Well, I
love
do
it.
that every day. So
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
welcome, Liz.
Thank you
Liz.
for having me. Thank you.
Welcome.
That's my husband saying welcome, Liz.
Oh,
Feel good.
and I'm a huge fan of your wife.
Aw.
Yeah.
Oh, because you haven't seen him yet. I've had him on my stream like 3 times,
Oh,
and
okay.
he's very studious. He's like got like the glasses and the beard, and he looks like a professor. But he's a total mountain man. Like he's always like chopping wood outside on the other side of my studio here. I'm like, will you stop with that? I can hear you. But they love him. He was on my stream, and now everybody asks me, "Where's Duncan? Where's Duncan?"
Right.
So.
Aw,
I think
sweet.
Saturday we were doing our show Saturday morning or early afternoon, and where's Duncan? Oh, he's out swimming in the river or swimming in the creek. It's like
I sent him up the river in
so,
a tube
I mean,
wuthout a paddle.
awesome.
Oh, I did see you were talking about that. I caught it when you said, you were like, "Oh no, do they need a paddle?" I remember when you said that.
Well,
And I think it's optional if you're tubing.
well, I guess he got to the river. They didn't like the level that it was on, so they went water skiing in a lake instead.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good that you can trust them at least to find that dangerous call.
Find something to do. Yeah.
Decision.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you guys so much for having me.
You're here. Yay.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much for coming.
absolutely. Yeah, I didn't know that you guys had a show. I mean, I knew you guys had a show, but I didn't know that Never Ends had a show until I came over here, like last month or whenever it was. So you guys fascinate me a little bit.
Ooh,
Yeah, I'm like, maybe I'll
what
ask
up with
you
that?
guys. Yeah, some questions.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Anything.
Well, I am curious. I don't know everybody's Marilyn. I know that you were raised in a cult and that you are out, and I know a little bit of your story, but I wasn't sure if the other Never Ends. Does that mean you've never been in Scientology, never been in a cult? Like,
I've never been in
All of the above.
Scientology, but I've been in a
Right,
cult. But
I remember
Yeah.
that.
Right.
Yeah, Clearwater Chad. Have you?
I've never been in a cult. No.
Wow, you guys must be so well balanced.
to keep me
No,
but-
grounded. Yeah.
No.
Be real. You have been in something.
I was in an MLM, but I don't like to
There you
compare
go.
too much because it's like Scientology. There's some bad stuff. That's like abuse and stuff. I just lost some money, so.
Well, I don't think that we should underplay MLMs because they are
Yeah.
they are cults though too.
Oh, okay.
I
All right.
totally. I mean, some are.
It was similar. It was similar to like where the leader said this, and we had to meet in these shady hotels, and like recruit people, make lists of people, and so yeah, you're right. I guess.
Shady hotels. Always with the shady hotels.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. I always figured that the minute an MLM or any tells you how to live your life outside of the professional zone, you're probably getting in the culty
Yeah.
world.
Yes.
That's what I figured. But
Mhm.
do you like watching documentaries about MLMs?
I haven't yet. I love watching documentaries about cults. All cults.
Well,
And
you run out of
comparing.
content. The LuLaRoe about the leggings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was
okay.
a fascinating documentary. I had
So
no
good.
idea that. I mean, it's a cult. It's a great way to bridge MLM and cult. They did a good job with that.
That's
Yeah.
a good documentary.
And I could so relate to Roberta Blevins. I'm a huge fan of hers, and she was on the Fair Game podcast, one of the last episodes that Mike and Leah did, and I could so relate to her because she was talking about watching the Aftermath series that you were on, Liz, and I mean my eyes were open too. She was saying how like she was like, oh, let me go get my my Aftermath fix, and I was the same way, and I was like, oh my God, I was in a cult. And I remember she had that total epiphany too, like, holy shit, I'm in a cult. You know, it was just, we could relate so much, you know.
It's
It
so
really
much
did help a lot of
safer.
people.
Yeah, because it's safer to identify it almost in somebody else first,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Like it's so much easier to be like, well, that's a cult, and then that's a cult. So this must be. But I don't think anybody ever starts with like, I'm in a cult. No, that takes a long
It's
time.
always harder to see your own flaws. It's easier to see the flaws in others. So I think it's the same dynamic. You know, it's easier to see what others are doing wrong than what you're doing wrong.
Right.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I get
sometimes
you.
you don't have the words, you don't have the tools to recognize because cults are so called, you know, the slow boil, right? The indoctrination is so gradual, and you're basically taught to not trust your own thoughts, to you know, obey on command, or to like the, you know, the thought terminating cliches and all the tactics
All that stuff.
where you don't know what end is up, and it's like to like you said, remove yourself from it and look at somebody else. You're like, wait a minute, that sounds like this. That sounds like this. And I loved your stream, by the way, with a friend. I'm sorry, I forgot her name.
Oh, Cassie
Today?
Marie.
Cassie Marie. Yeah,
Cassie
she's
Marie.
great. I didn't
Yeah.
realize I only caught the second hour, but because I don't get my notifications for some reason. But yeah, I loved how you guys were talking about how like, oh geez, just lost my train of thought.
We were talking for like 2 hours too.
Yeah. But
Cassie Marie's
I know what it was.
Yeah.
About the triggering language, how like it's been really helpful for me to be in this sphere, because whenever I watch podcasts with like theologians or apologists and stuff, sometimes the language can be triggering, but it's been good because, like, you know, when I hear a scripture that was taken out of context, like turn the other cheek, you know, to me that means be abused. Other people are just like turn the other cheek.
Good
just
point.
means
Very good
let it,
point.
you know, let it slide off your shoulders. This to me, it means literally turn the other cheek and be abused, you know. So that's why the the crazy language of the Scientologist like doesn't, you know, bother me as much, because I can draw the correlations without totally you know, being, you know, in the rabbit hole.
That's such a good point. I wonder if that's like a big reason a lot of people like watching Scientology, because they're like, that's crazy. And because nothing of what they say actually matches up to your to regular language. That's a fascinating
Right, but the concepts and the tactics are all so similar. And I can't tell you how many people in the chat, probably even now, can relate, you know, to the narcissistic qualities that people that have abused them, or, you know, even relationships. And we could go on and on. We'll have to do a stream on some of this stuff, but
I know,
just,
right? Oh my goodness.
You know,
Absolutely.
how colleges are like breeding grounds for cults to come in and grab kids out of there, you know, all kinds of crazy stuff. But your work is valid and it's amazing, and that's why you're getting some you know, back, you know, some flack about it, but we all love you, and we're rooting for you, and we're allies. So welcome.
Thank you. Wow. I'm in. What else? No.
It could be a never end.
Right? Maybe that would be fun, actually. Leave.
Yeah. So you have a book coming out.
I do. I have a book coming out, and wow, what a learning curve. What a learning curve to like actually self-publish a book. So I'm starting my official promo-y whatever. It was supposed to be starting tomorrow, Liz's quizzes, but I did give you guys a quiz tonight. And you know what's funny is I thought I would give you guys a Scientology basics quiz, and I was looking at it and I was like, these guys know too much.
I don't know.
I don't know.
No, really. So
Now
you
you're scaring me.
So you better get ready. No.
Did you email that to us?
I did, but I think you guys were already live. So I think I emailed it to Marilyn and messaged it to you.
Okay.
I can
So-
forward that.
Marilyn, can you forward it to Steve-O?
Sorry,
All right.
I should have done it earlier.
Awesome.
I don't know if you guys
No,
know
you're
this
fine.
about me, but
No,
I also
no.
have 2 jobs. I work 2 jobs outside of being here and a mom. So I like just got off work not that long ago.
So we appreciate you even more for being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so my book should come out really soon. And you know, what's really funny is as I was finishing it, there's one line in there in particular where I talk about my brother and I talk about how he's really smart and a genius. And then at the end, I said something like, oh, well, you're so smart. Who's alive now? Who's alive now, huh, Phil? And I like it.
Shade.
I'd say it to his face if he was here.
Wow.
Or his ghost face, like however you want to put that. Anyway, that was the one line that I thought, I wonder if that'll stand out. And then I gave it to my sister-in-law and she was like, oh, I had to read that 3 times. I can't believe you wrote that.
Wow.
I think that speaks volumes to your healing process.
Yeah.
I suppose so.
To have the sense of humor to say that, to write that, it's
or I'm
kudos.
crazy and delusional, the jury.
No, we all are.
No, but it just gave me a little bit of motivation yesterday because I don't want to admit it, but I will. The email that said it was an anonymous email that was like, think of your mother, you're better than this. I mean, short but well crafted. They know my
Buttons.
So I thought about it for a while. I think I'm over it now, but I thought about it for a while and I just thought, should I do
Pete
this?
has a comment here about for you about that. Who want to
The
start
line-
reading?
That line can be interpreted a lot of different ways, as long as it means something good to you. That's a nice thought. Well, and that's kind of what I got a little sassy about. And I was just like, better than what? I'm great. I mean, I don't mean to be,
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
like, I was like,
Right.
I'm fine. I'm okay. I might not be the best of the best. There's always room for improvement, but like, I think I'm all right. We're okay.
Yep.
So, but it did kind of rock me, and it kind of it's a weird thing. I'm putting a lot of, I feel like, secrets out into the world in this book coming out, and there's this part of me that still feels a little bit censored, like I'm not allowed or I'm going to get in trouble or whatever. So looking through that, think about that when you look at my book when it comes out. You'll be like, damn, she went through a lot.
Wow.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing it with the world. That's awesome.
Well,
And Liz,
invite me
I wanted to say something about these mysterious emails that have been coming out because Aaron got you. It's funny that they're not using threats. Like one thing is they have nothing to threaten you with because guess what? You're not in a cult. You don't have, so they don't have power over you. So even though, Osa and David Miscavige and all them, they don't really have any humanity. They don't really have any compassion, but they're trying to appeal to the compassion in you because they know you have it. So I just thought interesting.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing.
Get to you. Just trying to, just trying to get you, but it's not going to work.
No. And I'm going to be noisy and dramatic if it happens anymore. Sorry.
Hell yeah.
Like Aaron says, anything they do, it can create a video that you could make to make more,
That's
You
kind of how
just-
I felt.
yeah.
I was like, I'm going to share this, but it's also not just that. There's actually an actual support that I'm feeling from the SPTV community, where I was like genuinely like, oh my gosh, I kind of feel like I want some support. I would love some support on this. If anybody,
Absolutely.
and everybody was, and that was really nice. Because I am kind of new here too, to like have that experience. It was really, it feels good. So I get why David Miscavige and Osa, and like I get why they're scared, because there is something with the SPTV and the fact that you guys are here. Like there's a huge power in that. I mean, you guys are never ends. It's like, but you care. Like that's so dangerous to him, I would assume, and the whole thing. So it's a cool movement.
I think it's also like the fact that it's not curated. Anybody can make their channel and say anything, and everybody can connect and talk to each other. You know, it's not there's no gatekeeper to the information being put out or to the kinds of connections that people are making, and that's
Right.
much stronger than anything that has
True.
happened so far, I think.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it was Aaron that was saying the best thing everybody can do is have your own platform. Like it doesn't really matter if you are as successful, say, as Aaron, or do that whole route, but nobody can take away what you want to say. And that's the joy. So I think it's so powerful. I agree.
And like Aaron said, everyone, even if it's the same story, it's your story, and you're putting you're putting it in your perspective.
Yeah. And I think that it's almost like constellation, like this person's perspective and this person's perspective and all these different perspectives. But when you kind of do the lines in between, it paints a whole picture.
Yes.
Yep.
And so it becomes something bigger than the individual dots themselves. And I think once something has that, it has like true organic grassroots momentum, and then it's almost impossible to stop.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would imagine he's like, what's that cartoon? Wile E. Coyote, like watching the ball like roll down the hill, and he's like, and it's about time he felt that way, because he's made a
Gives me a lot
lot
of pleasure.
Yeah.
Makes me very happy to picture that.
I know.
But
Right?
yeah, you think of any movement, the civil rights movement, it takes a while, but just. So can I ask you a couple questions from the chat?
Please.
Renee B, please ask Liz how we can get her book without giving the money to Amazon.
Okay. Renee B, I am going to sell. So, I will order them from Amazon to give to you. So I don't know if that technically means if you get the book from me, if you're giving your money to Amazon, but an option would be I will sell a few on my website, which is rusticandresourceful.com. And I'll do it there. I'm just a little technologically behind. It'll probably be a week of when it's on Amazon. So.
And are you going to sign some of them?
I am going to sign some of them. And what's so funny? I wanted to have it. I have a self-imposed clock that I'm racing against, and I've come to realize this is the most ridiculous thing. I'm way too old to be setting unrealistic expectations on myself and then holding myself to them. So, in a little bit more time, I definitely want to share. You guys were so funny talking about the smokable pages and all the all the goodies and stuff. So, I also have some really fun, I like to craft too as well. So some little boxes that I will put up on my website as well. Nice. So I hope that answers your question. I don't know how to live a life without a little bit of our money going to Amazon. I'm so sorry.
It happens a lot around here.
Yeah.
So we've got a super chat. I think this was referencing Aaron's live stream that's, I think, still going on now. He's debating Jason. Yeah. Ms. Pillow, thank you for the super chat. Glad Aaron drew the line between Church of Scientology, or Scientology, we won't call it a church, right? And the other religions that typically, other actual religions want to help people of lesser fortunes, and Scientology kicks them to the curb.
Right.
So it's basically where we're talking about the tax exempt status, and the criteria is usually, especially in the UK and other countries, that they have to show that they're somehow doing outreach in the community and there's some community benefit. But aside from the front groups that pretend to have photo ops and things like that, Aaron was just stating that they don't really deserve the tax exemption for that one point alone, that they don't really provide a public benefit.
But I have to debate that, because when a hurricane comes and destroys my house and my neighborhood, the first thing I want is a bottle of water and a pamphlet.
I got
You're
you.
locational as well. Don't forget about that.
Right.
They'll do Scientology on you. They'll make you look around. Look at that
feel
tree.
your
Oh, I could use a
finger.
touch assist.
Thank you.
Wow.
Look at that wall. Thank you. I'll repeat the command. Look at that wall. Thank you. Yeah, that's true. They do have this tiny echelon. The other thing I noticed that they do is a lot of international propaganda. Like when I used to go to events back in the day, and they were, showing on screen what they were doing, it was usually outside of the country in like Colombia
Can't verify it.
or
Right.
and they'd have a photo op, and it would be like, sometimes there were outrageous statistics. Like we reformed prisons with the way to happiness, and Scientology, I'm saying we. Gotta stop talking like that. Anyway, they said they brought down the crime in Colombia, the murder rate, by like 50 or 80%, or just like
The
some
Colombian miracle or something like that, right?
Colombian murder. Yes. So that's what people inside think they're doing as far as social betterment goes. That's why when you don't see them in your local food pantry, you don't see them, in your local community doing action, or even in your state, or really in your country. You just kind of assume they're like off because they're so international that they're just like out there. If that, I don't know, gives any more information to
Absolutely.
how we thought. Yeah. So when I was in Scientology, I worked at staff for a short period of time, and I became the public executive secretary of the Celebrity Center in Portland, Celebrity Center Portland. So I was in charge of all the new people and the events. So we would we would get a DVD where the event had been recorded live, and it was like the next day, and we would rent a hall like we did it at the community college, and then play it, and everybody would come, and we'd have a little live thing, and then we'd watch this video, which, talk about propaganda. It's the same CD going out, and you're like, you physically have to get people there. Technology exists that you don't actually have to all get into the same building in order to watch something. In fact, wouldn't you be better off giving all of your church members an online access to something? But they won't do that. They want you in the building so that they can, like, I don't know, recalibrate you back. So, wow, I just went on one about that.
No, it's interesting.
Okay, sorry.
Japan of Green Gables. Liz, when you say
Yeah.
your sister-in-law, it's not your brother's widow, is it? He's married, right? He wasn't married. Yes, correct. He is, my brother was not married. He was 19 when he passed away.
That's so young.
Never married.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Liz, are you monetized yet?
I am not monetized.
Do you need watch hours?
I do. I need watch hours.
Everybody go to Liz's channel. I'm pretty set, I think.
That's
go to
great.
Liz's channel.
Yeah, well, feel free.
I only had like 50 hours left. Yeah, everybody go to
good
Liz's
job.
channel
Yeah.
now.
Maryland is very close. Very, very
They're
close.
very, very close. I'll have it by the end of the
fun, Maryland. Let's get, one thing at a time. It's like the financial thing, you want to, like, that one theory. I did it, and it actually worked in my 20s, where you like pay off the biggest one and then roll it over.
Snowball effect or something.
Yeah, thank you. It probably was in my 20s. I feel so old.
I used to always pay off one and then forget about the other ones, and then I'd get in trouble from those.
That's like a slurry or something, a different type
something.
of
Right.
The light splattering.
So Stephen Britton says, Liz, anger at someone who analyzes themselves is perfectly normal. That sentence sounded a little angry to me, respectfully.
Yeah. Thank you for this comment, Stephen. I appreciate, I like this dialogue, and thank you. Yeah, I've come to realize that I still am grieving. and that all of the range of emotions I have felt and kind of continue to feel at like sometimes I'm angry, sometimes I'm sad, sometimes I'm fine, acceptance, I suppose you'd say. So yeah, I could have read it, I suppose, differently as well. Like, well, who's alive now? But no, it was sassy pants. So
You're
I don't know if I'd
entitled.
call it anger, a little passive aggressive.
Sure.
No, I am a little pissed off. It is frustrating. I have a teenage son, and it is so frustrating to think of how much love and energy and time and just hope and everything goes into a life from conception to that 19, and I was joking earlier that like I can solve everybody else's problems. Like I've got answers for it all. If I could prescribe him, I'm like, you never went to a foreign country and like just dig ditches for other people then. Like don't stay alive for yourself then. Go do something radical and help other people. I just could, stick around till the freaking internet explodes. You're gonna love iPads.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
didn't get that far. So yes, there will be some anger. There's a lot of emotions. What matters is how one expresses their emotions. And I'm certainly not perfect in that front either. So, but I think
I
writing a
don't
book.
think you ever really get over. You don't get over something like that. You
And I
never
don't
do.
think there's a right way to express emotions
Right.
or to feel emotions.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's very
Change.
valid if you have to make a joke, and that some people are going to find it, tasteless or not, or it's your grief, it's your process, it's your book, it's
your
life.
emotions.
And that's the thing that I realized about like when I finally sat down to write some of these things, because I've always wanted to be a writer. So I've been journaling and writing like for a long time. But when I really sat down to finish this project, it was the first time that I ever could be really honest. Right? Like, because before I had, a family. I had, and don't get me wrong, my I have a family now. My husband's family has everything that my maternal side of the family was kind of lacking. His family has an abundance. So I've been able to make some new relationships and heal some of those wounds. I don't know why I'm telling you guys this. Wow. Here we go. Get into my head here. But long story short, I might be mad. I might be pissed off. I might be sassy. And that's kind of all in my book too. I think if you read it, you'll be like, I get it.
We're excited about it.
I'm a human with a range of emotions that I can express without a cult.
Yeah.
We're far enough in.
Where all you fucking want.
Yeah.
So speaking of emotions, Terry Ray says, funny how they use emotions to manipulate Liz, but they try to eliminate emotions from its members. That's interesting.
Yeah. How do I explain this? That's a lot of their fundraising too, though. They do tie into emotions. Like, that's a weird one. I'm gonna have to think about that, Terry. Wow. Terry Ray, good comment.
Don Lambert says, Liz, I've been out of Scientology since '83, but didn't start talking about it till the last 2 or 3 years, and mostly because of SPTV.
That's wonderful.
Great. Yeah.
Before it was SPTV officially.
Yeah.
But it was already a movement. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anhata on fire says, Liz is an unofficial cousin of mine.
Sold.
She continues the comment.
Oh.
She compliments that. I don't know if it's right.
Oh, a ginger pie too.
Nice.
I love it.
I love it. That's awesome. That's awesome. Sorry, I was looking at sometimes I don't get any context, so I'm looking at this third question. I talked to Claire about how to do it.
Monetize
sure what that was.
I think it's related to selling your book and not giving money to Amazon, or how to self-publish or something along those lines.
Oh, got it. Got it. Tip 45, I'm so proud of you. Simply taking the steps. Red face red heart.
Face red heart shape. Face red heart shape.
Face red heart shape.
Cute emojis. I know how
have to look
does
that on YouTube.
Thank you.
All right.
That was Tell the Book without Amazon. Pete's saying, yeah.
Yeah,
Probably.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
I am going to record my own audiobook, and I think I'm just going to sell it on my own website. And so I guess
Excited
that's
about
Amazon
that.
That's Amazon free. So.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
Nice. I can't wait for that. I mean, I'll get the
Me
actual
too.
book, but I don't know. I think I'm slightly dyslexic or something. So if I read, it might take me a little time because I was never tested. I lived in foster homes and cults and everything else. So I don't know but yeah, I haven't finished a lot of books, but I'll finish yours. I'll read yours, but I do want to hear
pressure.
I do want to hear you read it.
That's right. I've got a space on my bookshelf for the hard copy, and I've got 2 years for the audiobook. So
because I can crochet while I listen to you too.
Paperback. There's no room on the shelf for my paperback.
Oh no, we'll make room. We'll make room. Make room. I'll just have to sandwich it in between Mark and Mike.
Smoke a little bit of the book so it like squishes down.
Oh, brilliant.
Good idea.
Yes.
That was a great idea.
Peyote pages there. Yeah.
There you go.
Since we're all pet lovers, I'll put this up from Joel. Soapbox. Oh, it's not a soapbox.
That's me. I'm guilty of soapboxing. I know. It's fine.
Yeah, I did it before you came in even about the scream. Pets bring us great joy. Think about helping your local rescue shelter. Donate, visit, or better yet, volunteer. You will get more than you give. Work for me. Yes.
Nice.
I agree. And I think
awesome.
That's something that, I mean, who knows how something like that could have honestly changed my brother's life. If the solution wasn't always just like, oh, this more Scientology or this or confusion, just like, hey, there's other ways that you can live in the world and engage with society that might feel good to you because you feel like shit, try something new.
Like a puppy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Shoveling poop, man. It's like very humbling. Sometimes it takes you out of your own theoretical crap.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That sounds weird. I live on a farm. Okay, that's the kind of poop I'm talking about.
Makes sense.
Well, I don't know if you guys want to do the quiz.
Sure.
Take a little time. So I kind of not sure if you're up for it yet.
Yeah, let's do it.
Absolutely.
So,
time for it, sure.
Are we gonna do it like we did last time? Like everybody's supposed to keep track of their points.
I'll keep track. Look, I've got it written here. I'm gonna keep track this time. Can you see it? Where am I? I'm gonna put little tally marks. Very high.
All right.
Okay.
Very high tech.
And then everybody in chat can play along, but you gotta.
This will go on your permanent record. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh no!
It'd be great.
Busy folder.
Yeah,
your
record.
folder. Oh my gosh.
I'm looking for here.
Which is funny because they're physical folders. Some people have like 20 or 30 or 40 folders.
It's insane.
So you can
they keep them in like warehouses, all protected and whatnot. And so it's like, what?
Yeah, that's crazy.
I can't wait for a raid. Raid them.
Funny, I was just thinking like, I don't believe in book burning, but I feel like a huge PC folder. Burning would be cool.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're not books. Well, yeah, they're. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how that.
Stephen, yes, the chat can participate.
Yes. So if we give them a little pause, people can put their answer in the chat if they want.
Okay, cool. Just make sure that you tell your own points then, because yeah. Mr. Bill is thirsty, Chad.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you have another doll there.
Yeah, John Sostowski gave. I'm sure he'll send you one too.
I got one too.
Oh, wow.
Yep. The Mr. Bills are multiplying.
It scared the dog.
Yeah.
What did John say last time? That
screen looks.
Mr. Bill is taking down Scientology one Mr. Bill at a time, something like that. Because he's been gifting those Mr. Bills to like a lot of SPTV creators.
I'm going to say something a little bit maybe that's going to come across paranoid. And please understand as a disclaimer, I have no experience with this Mr. Bill. I have zero. But what if Mr. Bill is what if they're nanny cams? What if there is a camera in there and Mr. Bill is spying on everybody?
Stowski!
Scooby Doo ski.
He's got
Yeah,
little like microchips in the captain's hats and
Just saying.
right.
Next time you go to the airport, put it through the X-ray machine and just
Yep.
ask the guy behind the counter. No, I
You
don't
know,
know.
the, you know, the,
Again,
fir- you know, the
still,
first,
this is nothing for you. I'm just
the
a very
first,
paranoid.
the first time this guy sent something out, he sent crackers to Mark Headley, and shortly thereafter, Headley got sick from the crackers. So,
Yeah. He
Mhm.
tried to kill
Are you
Mark
serious
Hadley.
though? Is that a
Yeah.
real story?
true story.
Yeah. No,
Because
it
they have a
is.
lot of salt, you know. And he
'Cause he
sent
was
him a whole
sick.
big box.
Okay,
Well,
do you know
because
the story?
I think Mark was trying to lick all the crackers too. So
Yeah, that's a
Do you know the
verified
story,
fact.
Liz, of the crack licking? The cracker
I've
licking?
heard like references to it, but no. Is it from Bill or was he already referencing what had happened previously?
No, what happened was on those smear websites that Scientology put out
It was
for
a
a bunch
hate
of
video.
people.
Yeah,
There's a
it was
hate
site.
that he licked crackers. Somebody who used to work with Mark said that the nasty thing that he did is that he licked crackers before she ate them or something like that.
yeah, and put them back in the
Yeah.
package so she would eat them, and he would laugh.
Yeah.
That's all they could find against him, you know. It's like he licked my crackers.
Yeah, so that became a
Really?
big joke in his community, and then he became like the cracker licker, and he makes fun of that. He has a video of him licking
Yeah, I have a mug.
crackers, you know, and
Yeah,
things like
I have a
that.
mug with the
They
crackers.
made the logo with the crackers and all of that, and then the group, the watchers were like the cracker lickers, right? There's all the jokes about that, and then around that time when this was all happening, we were all talking about it. Then John sent him a bunch of different brands because then the chat was always asking like, "What's your favorite type of cracker?" And then people are saying like brands of crackers, and then John just sent him a bunch of different brands of crackers.
That
He
is
stole her
so
box
funny.
of crackers and licked them
And
all.
lick them all. See, that's like a big brother kind of thing to do. That's like, you know, or a little brother. That's just this seems
Well,
like
he said he doesn't remember. He said we didn't even have crackers in the Sea Org. He's like, and I've never really eaten crackers. So funny.
Yeah,
that
he
is
said
funny to say because if I got my hands on crackers in his position, I wouldn't be licking them and putting them back.
Eating
I
them.
would be
Yeah, you're
eating them.
starving. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
he said that it sounds like
So-
something that he would have said just to make fun of the person. He says, "Oh, I see myself
Oh, I
saying
licked
that."
your crackers.
Just-
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I licked them, by the way. Just, you know,
Yeah.
something like that.
Well, it is a rule that if you lick something, somebody else can't take it from you. So,
There
right.
you go.
Right, I licked it, so it's mine. Right, isn't that the
Yeah, like don't
Yep.
take my candy bar. And then you lick the whole thing, and then everyone's like, "Ew, I don't want that." And you're like, "Good, because it was mine to begin with."
Right.
I'm a 12-year-old boy at heart, just in case anybody was wondering.
Me too.
Did you
I didn't
figure
say
out,
it, Steve-O. I didn't say it.
Oh, I did.
sometimes
I agree.
And sometimes I'll say something. We have like a little 4-way chat thing on Facebook on Messenger, and I'm like, I better rephrase this for the 12-year-old in the group, not saying it because you know he comes back with these. That's what she said, kind of.
Oh yeah,
come back.
yeah. It's real weird when a 9-year-old says it. My son, he was was watching The Office, and then he was like, "That's what she said," and I was like, "No,
That's funny.
no." And if you are gonna say it, you don't say it to your mom. So anyway,
right?
I should never hear that. Yeah.
Right.
So
Did you
funny.
figure out, Steve?
Oh yeah, I got it. I'm ready to go.
Don't look at the
Okay.
answers, Steve-O.
I'm trying not
You're not
to.
looking ahead, are you?
No.
Okay, just because okay. There we go.
There it is.
Medium
promise.
difficulty quiz.
Ooh, medium difficulty quiz. I like that.
So I have a Scientology Basics, which is a funny play off of, you know, the Scientology Basics. But they were too easy. So yeah, you guys get medium difficulty. All right, next slide, please. How well do you know Scientology, its history, scandals, and stories? Take the quiz to find out. Okay, everybody in the chat. It's going to be multiple choice. You can tell us which ones you think. Next slide, please. Okay, this one has a couple bonus questions. Everything's on the line. You must pass this quiz. No. Oh, did I make you more nervous? I was trying to diffuse it, Julia. Sorry. My bad. Went a little in the opposite direction. This has a couple bonus questions on there. You'll see them. 2 points for a bonus answer. So that's math that I'm going to do.
All right.
That's my ability. Let's keep going. let's begin. Okay. You have to write one of these after every auditing action and course. Is it A, a success story, B, a win log, C, a promo letter, or D, an NDA?
How do we?
That's a
Are we
good
gonna
question.
write down, or are we gonna
Um,
say the answer?
How about I just call on one of you and then no, that won't work. This is a great thing that I didn't think about. I don't know. Shout out your answer.
A.
What do you guys
A.
say? A? Was it easy? Did you already know that?
Chad, you
Oh,
have to.
I was gonna get it wrong. I was gonna say B.
A win
Nobody said
log?
we're right. You give
Oh,
your
okay.
answer, Chad. There's no.
I'm gonna
we
say
don't
B.
know.
Okay. All right. What do you think, Marilyn?
A. I said A.
A?
I wrote it down.
Okay. Oh, you did. Okay. Steva, are you going with A?
Oh, I'm absolutely A.
Mm-hmm. All right. I see some A's. They can cheat. Yeah, well, we all can cheat. Everybody can cheat.
I'm not
Okay,
gonna cheat.
keep going.
I'm not gonna cheat.
Don't rob yourself of the experience.
So it was A.
Right, right? I would never cheat.
Was it A?
It is. Next slide, please. Okay, yep,
Okay.
success story. So I don't know if you know this. I had to double check with some of the elder exes, but at the end of every Scientology process, you get on the meter and they ask you, would you want others to have similar gains to yours? And would you want others to achieve the knowledge you now have? So you have to pass, like you have to get a floating needle. And then after that, after they've asked you these questions, and you of course you have to say yes, because if you say no, you go back and you do a bunch of stuff. Then you have to write a success story, which is like, I don't know, especially kids. It's just like, I liked this course. I learned so much. Everything was great. Let me out of this freaking room. Bye. So you guys got it right. Okay.
Wow.
Clearwater Chad, I'm giving you that point because we rushed it for you, but you.
Oh, thanks. You're nice.
Next time, Chad will go. Maybe we can go in order.
No, we can. I
Chad,
don't mind
me,
getting
Marilyn,
some wrong if
Steve.
I have to. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, we can always eliminate. We can always do process of elimination also, like they do in what's that one show? So You Want to Be a Millionaire, where they can talk through it, but then they have to give their final answer. Okay, what does it mean in Scientology to drop your body?
Easy.
Does it mean A, to fall down, B, to parachute skydive, C, to
C.
die, or D, to meditate?
C.
See?
Okay, I'm hearing a lot of C's. Let's see
That
it.
was kind of easy, but
Was it? Okay. Oh man,
Yeah.
Still a good
you guys would've been so
question.
annoyed with me. It is to die. So L. Ron Hubbard dropped his body. and
that's
moved
why
on.
it's easy, because I think everybody knows that reference.
In
Yeah, and then he
1986.
dropped his body. Mhm.
Yeah.
Which is so funny because when you say that, it actually seems like it puts the cause on the spirit. You know what I mean? Whereas like L. Ron Hubbard had a stroke and like.
But I think that was the intention, right? That was
Of
the intention
course.
to say that he causatively dropped his body to continue his research on
Yes.
Target 2. So we shouldn't grieve him.
Exactly.
Or
No grief.
whatever.
Just dropped your body. And then the opposite of that, picking up a body is like being born. So
Oh, wow.
it goes both ways. Side note, I'm going to go over this if I can find it another time on my channel, but I found this newspaper article in the New Hampshire newspaper about my mom explaining L. Ron Hubbard's death to like a journalist. It's really interesting.
Wow.
I'll post it one of these days, but just like the terminology is just like he dropped his body and moved on to like, the next thing. So strange. But I was there when they announced that. I was at Flag when they announced L. Ron Hubbard's death. And I was little and I was playing with balloons because if you're little, they can like put you in the kid area. And all these body routers, like people moving people around, came in. And if anybody was crying in there, if anybody was upset, they like took the person like, oh, okay, by the arm and took them out of the building, out into the courtyard and gave them a locational, which is when you have them look around. So like being upset was just not happening.
Yeah.
So anyway, okay, next one. Everybody got that. A classic Scientology saying is make it go.
Go.
What? Make it go.
Right.
D.
Right.
B, to Xenu
Right.
and beyond. Correct.
I love this.
That's
Yes.
funny.
I wanted to be that one, but
Xenu
Go
and
to
beyond.
Xenu and Beyond. I love that
Julia.
one, yeah.
to
Julia
Xenu
does
and
that
beyond.
I'm seeing a lot of D's in the chat. I don't think I'm
Yep.
seeing any other letter. So
No.
this is great because this helps me gauge like the basics would have been way too easy for you.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is not hard.
Okay, go to the next slide, please. You guys are right. And the other thing that I often heard as a kid was I don't want any HENR, which is, you probably know this, human emotion and reaction. Make it go right. So I don't know any other, that's like Scientology for saying like, I don't want to hear your crap. Just figure it out. Make it go crack. Let's do it. Okay, next slide. You guys all got that right. Everybody in the chat got that right. Too easy.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Okay. Oh, good. Boom. Finally.
Yeah, it's definitely a trick question.
I have no idea.
What is the correct format for writing OWs? Does everybody know what an OW is? An overt
Yes.
or
Withhold.
your crimes. Yeah. So you have to write it in a very particular way. Otherwise, it doesn't, I guess, work. I don't know. I know that if you don't write it this way, you have to go back and rewrite it. That much.
Ugh.
So is it place, form, event, time? Time, place, form, and event. That's B. C, form, event, time, place. Or D, event, time, form, place.
I think B rings a bell. B rings a bell.
I was leaning towards B.
Yeah, that rings
I
a
got
bell.
TPFRMLQ.
I think
Time,
I
place,
think
form,
B
event.
makes sense because it's like that's weird, from the smallest to the largest. I don't know if time and place would matter, but form and event would make sense. That event should be the last because that would be the longest one. That's my teacher brain thinking about composition and how to. But I don't know. That would be just an
I'll go
educated
with
guess,
B.
I guess.
I'll go with B too.
B.
Event and time. Time wouldn't
But
be
all
last.
B's?
I think
Fan-
B. Yeah, I'm
No.
guessing B.
Dawn,
But
Dawn, what's the answer? Dawn? Sorry.
we have some D's and
Oh.
B's.
B. Hey, look at that.
Wow.
Woo.
It is.
Yay, we did it.
And
Yeah,
I
I
think
feel like I've heard
time,
it
place,
before.
form, and event. Time, place, form, and event. Because apparently, if you don't list it like time, place, form, and event, it doesn't like release the energy with it. So you have to do it exactly like that.
If you had another option with event at the end, or if you had time and place, so if you had place, time, form, and event,
Be harder.
I wouldn't have an educated guess. I would have to.
I'm
random.
surprised people even know what OWs are, to be honest. I'm writing
Withholds and
this. I'm just
withholds.
like, I don't know if anybody's going to understand this. So this is fantastic for me. I'll just butter
Well,
you guys.
we only listen to hours and hours a day.
I know.
Yeah,
My goodness. Okay, next question.
that's one of the things that got me interested in Scientology, is trying to understand the language, trying to understand what the hell you're talking about, and then I got so into it.
Oh, that's funny.
I know it's
They
fun.
do have a whole language, that's for sure. Okay, what hacker group came after Scientology for attempting to censor the internet in 2008?
D.
D.
I don't have to read them. Syrian. These are real groups, just in case anybody's
Oh
wondering.
wow.
Oh, I didn't
Never
know
even
that.
heard of that.
Army, the Chaos Computer Club, loved it. Lulzsec, no idea, but okay. Or Anonymous.
They have some cool
Anonymous.
names.
I know
Anonymous.
Anonymous.
Anonymous. Everybody got it right. You guys are nailing this. All right, let's move on to the next question because I think we all know that. All right, which famous actor had a Scientology award created just for him? John Travolta,
B.
Tom Cruise, Will Smith, or Brad Pitt?
B.
B.
D.
Tom Cruise.
Now the bonus
This is
question.
the only one
is
that
the thing.
matters. Come on.
Bonus
Yep,
question.
yep.
Well, you guys, okay, I'll tell you in the next slide after the answer. But
Freedom Medal
anyway,
of Valor.
bonus question.
Oh,
Did you guys know this? It was called
Yeah.
the Freedom Medal of Valor.
sorry,
I was trying to think. Yeah,
Blech.
I wouldn't remember.
I actually knew that one. Wow.
Did you?
It's
Oh, good. 2 points for
2004,
Maryland.
right?
Honor system. Who else knew?
I did.
I did too.
Okay.
It
2004.
wasn't,
gonna
it wasn't
say
called
no.
the Black Turtleneck Award.
The psychotic Black Turtleneck Award.
That one.
I mean, who looks at that and is like, this seems like a great guy? Everything's
Well, I
fine.
mean,
It's
we're talking about a guy
ASW.
that he did introduce LRH technology to over 1 billion people. So
He
Have
did.
you met an SP?
Right? Well, it's also that I don't know that they thought about it at the time, but it was actually really insulting to a lot of the old time Scientologists, especially Sea Org members, because they
Yeah.
straight up said Tom Cruise has I forget the exact quote, but it's something like done more for Scientology, disseminated it to more people, and therefore has done more for Scientology than anybody else on the planet.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's so weird because that was right after Oprah's couch. It's like, is all good? No, what is it? Is all news good news? Because he didn't look great on that couch. How could you give him an award for? So bizarre, so freaking bizarre.
Flava Flav medal. Penny Flava Flav.
What a great Halloween costume. Has anybody done that? I want to see the turtleneck with like a big thing. Who are you? Tom Cruise.
That would be funny.
Right, exactly.
Tom
I'm the
Cruise,
most important
Scientologist.
Scientologist in the world. I was just looking earlier on my live at the picture of David Miscavige and Tom Cruise on their motorcycles with their like matching, jackets. And
Speaking of 12-year-olds, they look like freaking 12-year-olds on little tricycles or something.
But they were Ducatis.
They were, I know. Well, and I know some of the backstory from like Tony Ortega's blog where a lot of the woodwork and like how they got the hangar ready when he got there that day. Like it's all Sea Org labor. Like hundreds of man hours of tax-free Scientology money went into making Tom Cruise's experience luxury, which is just disgusting. I see a comment here that I love that says TC is a rich loser. Thank you. Well said, Bev's playlist. Well said.
Let me put one up here too.
Put your manners back in. Yeah, who does he say that to? Was it Anderson Cooper?
No, it was the
that's a good
Australian
question.
guy.
Yeah, what's his name?
Yeah, I forgot his name too.
That's a good question.
Peter Overton.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
yeah.
Very good.
Peter
You're
Overton.
crossing the line.
Hey, future quiz question.
Yeah, that's a
for
good
the
one.
hard people.
Get a Matt Lauer question in there too. Then
Crossing
I'm
the line.
actually taking notes, no joke, because
right.
Now that I'm learning your knowledge base, I'm gonna come back on here and I'm gonna stump you. Yeah. Well, anyway, we can move on to the next question. I feel like we could just talk about how Tom Cruise is for forever. I'm curious if you guys know this one. What vitamins are Scientologists told will help soothe the reactive mind?
Niacin?
Is it A, B1, B vitamin C, C vitamin A, or D niacin?
D.
You know they OD on niacin when in the right? Purification rundown. They take tons of niacin.
I know they take a lot of niacin for the Purif, but I don't know if that's the one that I don't know if it's
smooths the mind.
The reactive mind.
I don't know.
All I know is Amy Scobie has taken enough niacin for all of us. So
I'm gonna say
I'll say D.
Just because.
Marilyn.
So if it's not niacin, then maybe
I'm not saying it's not niacin. It could be. I'm not looking at the chat. I'm
not either. Yeah, I'll go with D.
Yeah, do your thing.
I'll say D.
Okay, wait. Oh my gosh, say your answers one more time. Claire, what? Okay, A.
And
I'll say
D.
D.
Everybody else.
Okay, Juliana, you got it right.
Nice.
Oh,
B1. So that's, I don't know where it came from exactly. Probably some L. Ron Hubbard thing, but B1 is known, at least the way I was raised in Scientology culture, if you have a nightmare, B1. If you're just like really crabby or you're banky, like you're like re-stimulated and you're just like having a hard time, B1.
Soothe the reactive mind.
There we go. Niacin is used in the purification rundown, and you take a little bit every day, an increasing dosage until you the flush in your skin stops. So like day one, you would take, I don't know the milligrams exactly, but say day one, you take 5 milligrams and you flush red. The next day you take 5 milligrams again, you flush red. The next day you take 5 again, but you don't flush red. Then the next day you take 10. So it's like this ever increasing. Have you guys ever taken niacin?
Just
not in high doses. Yeah.
Okay. I think it'd be hilarious to do a live where you take niacin. It just turns you a little bit red. It makes you like, it doesn't hurt, it doesn't hurt you. Or if you take a lot, it will, but a very small dose, you just get like a little flushed or whatever, tingly, but.
Next chat-a-thon.
Wow. Yeah, 10 hour show.
I just like to say for the record that I did not cheat. I made a very
Oh,
a
I didn't
very
think you did, but okay.
no, but I made an effort not to look here because I saw the answers here. Marcus, who's a Scientologist, said A. Penny said
right.
A. And Japan of Green Gables, who is one of the most knowledgeable people about
Yeah.
Scientology
Yes.
from the Never Ends, also said A. So I'm glad I didn't look at that.
Oh, even my
Duncan
hubby
also
got
said
it right.
B1.
He said
wow,
B.
Yeah,
wow.
He said
he
B1.
said B.
You won.
Wow.
Yeah.
Smarty pants. Smarty
Very
pants.
nice.
Oops,
I'll try
sorry.
and find
Yeah.
that reference sometime. It had to come from something L. Ron Hubbard said, which just goes
Somebody
to
said
show.
here.
Steven said, "I'll take the 50-50." Yeah, I should have asked for that.
Yeah, no doubt. And then it would have been
Follow
niacin and
lifeline.
B1.
A and
would have
D.
been
Right,
between the-
right.
Right.
Wouldn't that be funny if that's how I gave away books? I was like super stressful quiz, and I'm like, you have to get it right. You failed.
Yes.
No prize. No. That was so funny.
Steven said niacin is vitamin B3. Oh, interesting.
Oh.
Yeah, I did think it was another, which also is
Hmm.
weird. From what I understand now, later in life, it's good to balance your B vitamins. You don't really want like a really high dosage unless you're proven to be deficit in something. Look, I'm not a doctor or whatever, but I'm just saying when I go to my own vitamin shelf now, I've moved beyond the B1 and I'm on a B complex. Woot woot. So
And for the lawyers, we're not giving health advice.
we are
We are not.
absolutely
We are
not. The general consensus is I never do what I say or suggest.
We're not doctors.
I hear you
We're
there.
not therapists.
Nope. I think it was more a testament to my personal healing that when I go to the store and I purchase a B vitamin, I've moved beyond that indoctrination. So
Mhm.
anyway, next slide before we get
Right
B
on.
vitamined out. Do you guys know this one? What do VGIs stand for? Is
Yes,
it
I know it.
vines grow inward? Is it B, that was A, B, very grand ideas, C, very good indicators, or D, volunteers get inside?
C.
I feel good with C too.
C.
See.
C.
C.
Person
I wouldn't have
Okay.
known this one without the options. This is not an acronym that I'm familiar with.
Okay.
Like if you said VGIs, I wouldn't know what it is. Like if you see OW right up, I know what it is. You know, but I wouldn't know. But with the options,
It makes the most sense. I know. And I honestly tried to do that a little
No,
bit.
I've
I
heard
really
it.
didn't give the SPTV community enough credit. That is my underestimation. I accept responsibility. But
You know what's funny is at least 3 or 4 of these answers I've gotten from watching Degraded Daughters of Dianetics.
Yeah.
Because
Vini.
Wow.
they
I
use
feel
the
like that's
language.
we
I
should
can hear
clip that for
Vanessa's
them.
I can hear
Yeah.
Vanessa's voice saying VG.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Or what was the other one? HE&R, because they used to say that their teachers like, you're being, HE&R-y or whatever, like using it as like an adjective. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's funny. That's great. It does stand for very good indicators. So like somebody would write on the top of your, like I don't know, it's just a way to how you are. You can also have bad indicators. Bad indicators would be like crying, upset. Very good indicators means you're like, I'm trying not to say uptone. Once the floodgate opens with the language, it sure is interesting. Anyway, it's just a way to say like they're VGIs. Everything about them is positive. They're showing success, happiness, that kind of thing.
So they don't let you out of the room until you
pretty much.
have
That's
very
the
good
end
indicators,
result.
right?
Yes, you must have VGI. So let's go to the next question because it actually has something to do with this. I think I marked you guys all down. Okay, another indicator, because we just talked about a couple of VGIs in this is it A, bright eyes, B, standing taller, C, floating needle, or D, glowing skin?
C.
Yep.
My
C.
gut says C. Yep.
Yeah, I'll say C too.
Okay, next
I
slide.
hope C.
Oh, the chat says C.
Right. The floating needle. And this speaks to, did you know this? I wonder if you guys are familiar with this. Floating needle means that you have no like residual mental energy or emotional hang up on a concept or a moment in time. So, excuse me. After every, when you're finishing anything, you have to have a floating needle. If you have any other movement in your needle other than this, it means you got to go back and like do a bunch of crap.
Rock slam.
Yeah, rock slam. But David Miscavige redefined the definition of floating needle in like
Really?
the late 90s, I want to say. Anyway, it's just this very strange rabbit hole of a Scientology scandal, like within the folds of Scientology, because a lot of exes or a lot of people were really upset. A lot of people left, but he changed the definition of it. So he rewrote L. Ron Hubbard, which was he was not supposed to do that.
No.
I just saw a really
This
funny
little dick, this little guy. Huh?
little
That-
is it Keebler?
No, it's David
Little
Miscavige.
baby dee.
That's
Little
David
baby dee.
Miscavige. He's so cute. Feed him to your dog. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, next question.
let me just mention this real quick.
Yeah.
This is what we do every time. Whenever we say rock slam, we say
Rock
rock slam. We've been doing this.
Ooh. That's actually a good one. Okay, we can go to the next. I think this was just a bonus fact that I put in. I might have been consuming. We'll see. But the Scientology e-meter, this is the device for spiritual counseling. I was going to ask you guys, have you ever been on the e-meter? I know some people have them, or you, like, no. Okay.
No.
There's a pinch test that is really common when you see them, like this left picture with the yellow shirts, the ministers, they'll be like out on the street, or you can see the word test in that other picture. They'll like pinch you and then have you remember the pinch, and it will make the needle move. So they use that to like recruit people into believing that the e-meter is a spiritual device and it's measuring emotional and like pain, when that has never been proven. But
That's one of the things that Apostate Alex used to do, from what I remember.
oh, okay.
Pinch
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, I think so. Because
The
he was selling.
test. Mhm.
It was. I think he. Yeah, I think I remember him mentioning that.
Yeah, you don't see it very often anymore. I don't know that it's standard protocol anymore for people to go out there, because so many people have phones and stuff. Like even these images, they're from like Wiki Commons, you know. It's hard. Scientology owns most of the imagery of e-meters. They're like kind of elusive. So I don't think they go out on the street and just let everybody go for it. My mother was they re-released, how do I explain this? She was supposed to redo some of her training because of the way they changed things, but she's old school and she was like really high up, like class 12 auditor. She was like the top auditor. So we had several of these. So anyway, moving on. Next slide. Okay.
The answers there?
Sorry, I overbumped. There we
Oh,
go.
that's
Oh,
okay.
crap.
That's
Matter. C.
Knew that
Matter.
one.
So avoid that one.
All right, fine. The Scientology term for crap talking or complaining. It's not gossip. It's not harassment. It's not being unkind. It's nattering.
Wow.
I have a childhood friend who went to the boarding school, the Delphian school with me, and she sent me a picture one day, and it was a picture of her OW write-ups at like, I want to say 10 years old, because we both were there. We were friends at 10. And it was an OW, a written thing in her like very childlike handwriting. It was kind of sad. And it said she had nattered. She had nattered about me to, I don't know, some other kid, which, I mean, super normal. But it was really sad to see it, because it was like this very childlike handwriting, just like, I nattered about Liz to so-and-so. It was really nice to have a laugh about it, actually.
Wow.
I remember the first time I heard what nattering was on the Aftermath series. I think it was Miriam and what was her name? Sina. She went to an adult about some really bad situation, terrible abuse that was happening, and they're basically like, stop nattering against a good Scientologist in good standing, and that's just horrific.
Yep.
Like,
well, it's a really fascinating thought loop, because here's the thing, you don't natter about somebody unless you have crimes about that person, right? So that's what's used to justify a lot of the exes, right? Is they're just nattering because they have crimes. So logically then, what's the difference? How could a person ever be calling out a crime if they themselves had not done that crime first? So it's this big thought loop where you can always just pick a side, and you can be like, oh, they're nattering because they have crimes. Oh, they're, like, it's really weird to think about. It's a
Wow.
big thought. It was a big thought loop pattern for me. It took me a while to get out of it. I don't want to think about it too much. I'm almost spinning.
Mhm.
Okay, we can go into the next question. Everybody got that one?
Yeah, that one didn't count.
Sorry.
You're fine. I think there's like 4 more questions. Okay, which of these is a Scientology high crime? A, organizing splinter groups. B, calling yourself a source of Scientology. C, copying or printing Scientology materials. C, public disavowal. No, I have
You
too
have
many
2
B's.
Bs.
I have 2 B's. I knew there was going to be a
B-
typo in here somewhere.
B1, B2, like the vitamins.
My head, yeah, B1. Whew. Reporting or threatening to report another Scientologist to civil authorities. That's D. Or I have 2 D's also. You know what I did? I copied them. Or all of them.
B2.
B2.
All the above. Yeah.
Yeah,
All
all
the
the
above.
above. Yeah.
All the
R2,
above.
D2, all of the above.
B1,
Everything's
B2, and
a crime.
D1 and D2 and A.
Yeah.
Okay, go to the next slide.
Oh, Marcus is saying none of the above. What?
None of the above. It is all of the above. You silly in theta, you. These are actually all out of the list of high crimes.
That's his name right there in Theta.
I know, right?
So good.
Stirring it up. All right. I don't know if you guys know this.
Barriers.
How many
No.
barriers to study are there in L. Ron Hubbard's study tech? Are there A, 2, B, 4, C, 8, and D, 3? Also, because of my Scientology training, because I did the how to use a dictionary course, I do know my alphabet and I can even recite it backwards, that last thing. Don't judge me on it.
Okay, you got it.
Oh.
I have absolutely no idea.
No.
Oh,
I'm not
good.
even gonna guess.
Yeah,
'cause I
same
Yeah,
have
you
here.
no-
stumped us.
Yes, you got 25% chance.
B.
I'll say C.
I'll say C too.
I'll say
We should-
D.
Then I'll change to no. I don't
Who's
change to
saying-
anything because Chad.
Who said D? Was it Chad or Steve? I heard, but I didn't.
Steve.
Okay.
Steve.
It's D.
The correct answer is D. There are 3
Wow.
barriers to study in L. Ron Hubbard's study
Wow.
tech. Any what is it? Gander a guess? I don't know what the word is, but do you want to? Anybody want to take a guess at any of them? I'll give you 2 points if you get even one.
Misunderstood word.
All right, good. That is
nice.
what.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Barriers to study.
Poo, pee, and vomit.
And
I don't know.
before we go to before we go to the next slide, I will tell you that when you hear about Scientology's schools and stuff, they are following this to a T. This is what it means to be a Scientology school, is to follow his study tech. So, okay,
Can
next slide.
I
Oh.
before I change? No, wait.
Not touching.
Can I
Nope.
just see
Nope.
the?
Nope.
I want to put up some of the comments here.
Oh, they have some there. Yep.
We have some common sense, misunderstood definition,
Close.
yawning.
That's close.
Marcus doesn't count.
There
Lack
we go.
of math.
Lack of. I love your
Yeah.
saucy little comma. Okay.
Of
it
course,
counts.
you know unconditional love. I
That
like
doesn't
that.
exist in Scientology. We know that. Vicky.
Right.
Fatigue.
Wow.
So,
Going
Oh,
out
I
to
didn't
D when
know
you're
you
supposed to be
were you
studying.
spying on me? Were you watching me? What? No.
Alcohol consumption.
So Steve Britton's, he said yawning and something else.
Is that alcohol consumption? Fatigue.
There were a couple
Fatigue.
before.
Fatigue.
Okay.
Fatigue.
So those are symptoms. Fatigue would be a symptom of lack of mass. Well, kind of both. Fatigue isn't exactly, but like tiredness is from a misunderstood word. Feeling lethargic and dizzy would be lack of mass. So go to the next slide. I know I sound out there, but there is misunderstood word. Oh, I didn't highlight the answer. It's D. Lack of mass and skipped gradient. So lack of mass is when you hear people making clay demos. It's they're giving the concepts like mass by doing it out of clay. So that's why people do it out of clay. It all goes back to his study technology. There's a dictionary there because misunderstood word. Another kind of fun thing, like most Christians, they have their own Bible. All Scientologists have their own dictionary.
Mhm.
It's like it's your little baby. So,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Did anybody know all those? No. You guys didn't go to Scientology school.
No.
Right?
Lack of mass.
All right.
No.
Next slide. All right. What is it called when a person changes or
I
alters?
know this one.
Okay, is it A, lionessing, B, editing, C, selective Scientology, or D, squirreling?
Squirreling.
D.
D.
Swirling.
Yeah,
The-
I knew that
Everybody-
one.
I like lionessing as a word though.
That's a
I
good
know,
word.
right? I'm gonna lioness. Okay, next slide. Actually, wait, before you go to the next slide, I stole this from somebody's Facebook post. This is like a library. These are real Scientology books in this picture. And like this is a very typical Scientology library. There's all the tech volumes. Like it's just yeah. So imagine how much money that is buying that straight from Bridge
Same.
Publishing.
Wow.
I need to say this one. There's a new option here.
E.
Yeah.
Jason Savage. Boom, boom. Well played. Well played. Okay, next slide.
Oh, hey, freezing project. Squirreling.
Squirreling.
It is. It's squirreling. And again, look, gosh, I didn't even highlight that.
The
answer.
Chip or Dale.
Which is, I know, right? It's so sad that squirrels get such a bad
I know.
rep in Scientology. It's like, and I never really understood. I'm gonna figure that out. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to get a hold of Hannah Whittingfield, somebody who was with L. Ron Hubbard. Why did he pick that animal, like that term? Squirreling.
I have heard a theory, but I don't know how accurate it is.
Okay.
Because of some places, instead of saying a hamster wheel, they say like a squirrel wheel or something. I've heard the analogy of being like the hamster wheel or something like that. I think I've heard John Atack or somebody. I've heard somebody discuss that, like the origin of the word squirreling. But
Yeah,
I'm not sure if that stands.
Huh.
It's not because Marty Rathbun looked like a squirrel.
That could be it too.
One of my-
Squirrel busters were after him.
One of my
Possibly.
biggest regrets in life is that I did not download. The Squirrel Busters had a video that they posted on YouTube for about 2 days when they were harassing Marty Rathbun, where they were on a boat and they were doing the I'm on a boat and they were like rapping in their very cringeworthy in their Squirrel Buster t-shirts, and they were like, we're on a boat and like all this weird stuff. I've looked for it. If anybody out there is like a hacker who understands how to find things that were on the internet once upon a time, that video, that like it needs to be found. It is, I'm pretty sure it will take Scientology down like by itself. It is the most insane thing anybody has ever seen. It lives rent free in my mind. And if we could see it with our eyes, it'll be amazing.
Marcus says he remembers those videos.
If not, we'll have to do some
Yeah.
recreation or something. Yeah.
We should find them because there were the Squirrel Buster ones, and then they got real sassy. Like there were a couple of days where they thought they were untouchable. It was real weird.
What is it you want to do, Chad?
Well, if we can't find it, we'll do a recreation. We'll make our own new one.
Right? It literally started out with like a pan like this, and he was cross-eyed on or cross-armed on a boat, and he was like, "We're on a boat." It was. I can't remember everything else. They had this whole
The other one
gotta find it.
maybe isn't as good, but the pub one that's public where the lady with the shirt on and the hat, the GoPro, she's knocking on Marty's door. She's like, "How you doing, Mr. Squirrel?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like they're saying it so mean, but the rest of the world is like, I like squirrels. Like that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
cute. You're a squirrel. Okay. I love it. Okay, next slide. Poor squirrels. I think we only have I don't remember how many questions are in this, but there can't be more than a couple left. On the Purif, you're expected to drink what? A,
You know
Kool-Aid.
this one?
Hopefully not.
B, apple juice. B, grape drink. Or D, CalMag.
CalMag.
Oh, no.
Yeah. D. Yeah.
All right, next
CalMag.
slide. Too easy. Yes, it is CalMag. And you know, on the Purif in particular, I used to hate it as a kid. I get the health benefits, but they mix it with apple cider vinegar. Like old school Scientology, the right way to make CalMag is with apple cider vinegar. I don't know. My family said that. Now that I'm getting older, though, I appreciate some CalMag. I mean, I'm a human being that
Good for your
does
bones. Yeah, as you get older. Yeah.
and
it's good for-
magnesium. I get it. And even a little apple cider vinegar is not the worst thing. But if you can imagine me, I did the Purif at 8 years old because I had like Tylenol 2 times or something as a child. Yeah. And then I did it again at like 10 because I had some antibiotics. And then I did it like again at 14. And then I did it again. Like I did it so many times. So many times. So CalMegs.
But my favorite story is the one that you went to paused your period to go smoke.
Yeah, I did. You want to know something is that after so I did the live and then I put a little clip of that on my TikTok and it got like 300,000 views. So it was pretty good.
Awesome.
Nice. And then somebody messaged me and they were like, is this story about me? Because I remember this. I just wasn't the ethics officer. I was the Purify C. So I had gotten that part wrong.
A detail wrong.
I was like, oh yeah. And it was really actually super heartwarming because they were just like, hey, or whatever, you know, it was cool. It was a cool round circle coming, you know, to sort of reflecting back and be like, wow, we're so crazy.
That's interesting.
And I also got her age wrong. I thought she was 19. I was 14. Yeah, I think it was 14. And she was much younger. I thought she was 19. She was actually a minor as well. So
yeah, what else is new?
I know. So anyway, whatever. She's handling her whole life with a lot of grace, and she's thriving and a wonder. She's doing really, really well. So if you think of me in that story, you can think of her just being a really good person and doing well. So
two success stories.
Yeah, I think so. It's nice. Okay, next slide, please. All right. Did I? I gotta get better at this if this is gonna be my thing. I'm not very good at this. Okay, which is the do birds fly drill? Is it A, OT3, B, TR0, C, TR3, or D, ARC straight wire?
Is it B?
C.
TR. I know it's a TR, but TR0, TR3.
Yeah.
Oh, TR0, you just sit with your eyes closed, meditating, confronting.
It's one of the TRs. Yeah.
You confront somebody. No, that's OT TR0. I don't know if it's the same one. TR0, maybe it's the one with the eyes open.
TR0.
It's TR3.
No, OT3 would be does Xenu fly? So
TR.
The birds fly or the fish swim.
Mm-hmm, that's the correct. Those are your options. Yep. What'd you say, Chad? Chad?
C.
Okay.
Is it
TR0? I'll go with C, I guess.
I think everybody's going with C. Next slide.
Boom.
You guys are right.
Nice.
Good job. Yeah, and you are correct. It is OTTR. It's just most people don't say the OT. So yes.
I thought it was OTTR0 was one thing and TR0 was the next one. I thought because Hubbard starts counting from 0, so who the fuck knows? Grade 0, grade 1, grade 2. So I thought it was OTTR0, TR0, TR1.
Yeah, first you sit with your eyes closed. So you're sitting like 3 feet or whatever away from a person across from you in a chair with your hands on your knees and your eyes are closed. Then the next one, your eyes are open. And then the next one, you're just delivering a communication. You're like reading out of Alice in Wonderland. Very strange that is always what it is. You are never reading out of any other text except for Alice in Wonderland.
That is weird.
So strange.
That is nuts. Yeah. It's so weird.
I know, right? It's so bizarre. And then TR3 is, you can say, do birds fly or do fish swim? And the point of that one is you don't acknowledge any origin, like you just keep saying it until the person answers. So it's super fun to be the on the opposite side of the drill when you're a kid, because your job is just not to answer the question. So they're like, do birds fly? And you're like, I don't want to talk to you. And they're like, I'll repeat the question. Do birds fly? And you're just like,
I like this. It's super fun when you're a kid.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I don't know if it's super fun when you're an adult.
I don't think it's even really that super fun. I'm just, I guess, comparing it to not fun things. When I looked at my day in the classroom, in the courtroom, and I got to do something like this, I was like stoked, because otherwise I was just going to sit there and read and make crap out of clay. I don't know.
Marcus, who was in Theta, he did a whole series with Doug Kramer
Mhm.
on Doug's channel of all the TRs. They did a whole series. They covered all the TRs.
All of
Very
them.
interesting stuff they have there.
That's awesome. Well, I didn't realize until I left Scientology that puts you into a state of a hypnosis. Essentially, it makes you extremely suggestible.
Oh.
And one of the last,
Especially the amount of time that you have to sit there and do those things.
the higher up you go, it's hours.
Mm.
Hours.
Wow.
So on the student hat, which isn't even that high up, you have to confront a piece of paper on the wall for 2 hours. Yeah. So you have to sit there and you have to like just be there in front of this piece
that
of
one.
paper.
And you pay for this shit?
Yeah, it's like $1,000 in case
Oh my God.
you could put it on your credit card. That's fine.
Oh, right. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Your Chase. Yeah, your Chase card.
Your Chase card, the Chase Wave.
Oh, go
I
ahead.
know people involved in that Chase Wave because I was there when they were calling and like they would call your credit card company for you and get your limit raised.
Oh my God.
And and
Wow.
sometimes they get your interest rate lowered though too. So maybe it's
Well, thanks for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. ARC straight wire. Somebody in the chat said they don't know what that
That's
is.
what the question that I wanted to. Yeah.
ARC straight wire is a lower bridge level process. So auditing process is one of the lower ones, and you basically like recall points in your past, and the idea of it is to improve your recall so that later on when you're doing the like more intense stuff, the auditing command can be given to you and you immediately go to a thought and you recall that thought. So I mean, it's an indoctrination step, but that's what it's about.
Mm.
That answers your question. So everybody, yep, I marked that one. I think, is that the last question? I don't even know my own quiz. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's it. Let's calculate. Okay, my dog's
Woohoo.
barking.
That's okay.
So guys, add up your points. Everybody who's playing in the chat, and then we'll.
I
check
have your
the
guys'
results.
points, but I don't know how accurate I kept them.
We trust you.
I think
trust
Marilyn
you.
has 17 and Chad has. No, Marilyn has 16. I can count. And I know my alphabet. I promise. I don't know what this is. Chad has. I think I skipped you guys a point. I think Chad has 18, and I think Juliana has 19, and I think Steve-O has 18. I think that's the score. But who knows? We'll see. Nobody got 0 to 9.
And I lost.
Nobody. I don't know if you guys are a baby being in the chat, but if you're a baby being, your Thetan knowledge is floating in space, lost like a rock in a black hole. But fear not, your enlightenment mission has just launched. Learn from these quizzes, baby being, until you're ready to take on the universe. Marilyn, you're an outstanding OT. Your OT understanding is a bit like a dance recital, almost cosmic.
So I lost.
No, don't forget, there's always more to learn. It may be time to dive into the tech to make sure you're not squirreling.
I love them.
And there's
Excellent.
one more.
I think I only got one wrong, but I didn't get any bonus. That's why.
That's why it says bonus points. The rest of you are
I didn't know
upstat
this.
unicorns. I'm sorry, man. You're an upstat unicorn too.
Wait,
You really are an upstat unicorn.
that's
Mary.
okay.
Ethics protection. Here you come. Move over. Your Hubbard hunches are sharper than a spaceship's nose cone. Prepare to pull in some vertical stacks and power conditions.
I want to attest to that.
Damn.
You'd
I
like
have
to?
a-
Very nice.
Would you like
Can you
others
see
to
that?
achieve the wins that you have achieved? What
Can
is
you
that?
see that?
No.
You can't see it.
Is it a
Let
light?
me-
Be big. We're done with the quiz.
Nice.
It's a unicorn. It's a unicorn.
There you
Marilyn.
go. I'm an upset unicorn.
Marilyn, I don't know why, but now that's going to be my nickname for you. You are an upset unicorn for now and forever.
But I'm not.
But I'm
So-
not, she says.
Unfortunately, I was a Pentecostal unicorn, but so you're interested in other cults too, right?
Absolutely.
So can I give you a question or two?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Okay.
And please
Ready?
stump me. Yes.
Okay. It might be really easy, so we'll see.
Dear
And
Lord, I hope they are.
if you want a hint, I can give you a hint, or I can try to come up with some multiple choice. But
Okay. I love it.
okay, ready?
Mhm.
Okay. This cult leader was known for her big hair, her weight loss
Gwen
program.
Shambles.
Yep.
Close.
Or I didn't even finish. Gwen.
Close.
Keep going. Maybe I'll think of it.
Okay.
I didn't cut you
Her
off.
big
I'm just
hair,
excited I knew. Oh, I'm so scared.
Her weight loss program. You're right though, and her abusive child training teachings.
Yeah.
Do you
Gwen,
have multiple? Do you have options multiple choice?
I'm
So,
not going to
no,
get it
okay.
right. It's
So,
Shambles.
You're right though. I mean, I was gonna say, okay, multiple choice could be Tammy Faye Baker,
Not her.
Joyce Myers,
No.
Gwen Shamblin.
Shamlin. Yep.
Yeah,
Shamblin.
that's her. Shamblin.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's her.
Gwen Shamblin.
You know, and I know that because I watched The Way Down. That's the only. Is that what her documentary is called? The one about her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that was insane.
Yeah,
it
I've
was
seen
really
it too.
insane. I was like laughing for the first half of it. And I was like, look at her stupid hair. And then she got into that horrible child abuse. And I was like, this is really intense.
Yeah.
And I think they did that really smartly as far as the documentary goes, because they sucked in an audience that's kind of like, I like cults, but then they really went in hard.
And then
raw.
she becomes, well, towards the end, that tragedy. And it happened in the middle of them filming, pretty much like season whatever, 2 and 3 or 1 and 2. And then other people came forward and wanted to talk. Yeah, it was wild.
Right.
That was
It
insane.
was wild.
Yeah.
Wild.
But the minute that you have that hairdo and everybody is telling you it's okay, it's a cult.
Well, the bigger and the bigger she got, smaller she got, and then the bigger she got as far as being famous, the bigger her hair got, and the more.
Look who we got here, Liz Ferris with her
Oh,
new
hey,
handle,
sweetie, I didn't
Pokemon
recognize you.
and Codes.
Liz.
Yeah, she
Hey,
has a new
Liz.
face. Look at that, Pokemon
Love
and
it.
Codes.
Everyone subscribe to Liz.
Absolutely.
Both
Liz
Liz's.
Ferris.
Lisa's also in the chat.
Yes.
Hello.
Hi, sweetie.
Just wanted to show everybody Liz's new handle there.
That's
Pokemon
right.
and Codes.
So I go right above, type in at Pokemon and Cults. Take you
Yeah,
right there.
nice.
Subscribe.
Yeah,
Like
everybody
all of our
subscribe.
videos. Watch them all.
Mhm.
Do all that good
Nice.
stuff.
What is Marilyn's channel's name?
Oh,
Boom.
Thank you.
That's not hard.
Yeah, Coffee, Cults, and Crafts.
Class.
Yep.
That is also her
Yeah.
email, coffeecultsandcraft@gmail.com. That makes
That's
life
right.
easier.
Thank you.
True.
Next.
Yeah, so we've got some Steve-O, you want to do some questions out of the start?
Oh, goodness.
Did you have more questions for your quiz to Liz?
Oh no, you know what, Liz? Why don't we do like one of my Sunday fun days coming up, and we
that
can. Okay, so let's talk.
I'm doing. Let's
'Cause
do it.
I'd love to have your friend Cassie. Is it Cassie Marie?
It is. It's Cassie Marie. Yeah.
Let's do cults and crafts, and why don't we do that?
Let's do it.
Fun.
I'm terrible at like any graphics, so if I do a quiz, it'll probably be just the way I did it just now. Like
Oh
questions.
my gosh, did you see mine? They're like literal Google slide templates. They don't get any more.
I don't know anything about. All right, I'll give you one quick question,
Okay.
and no hints. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So this cult had a leader that only liked to wear 2 things on his body: mascara and a Speedo. What was the cult's name?
I know because I watched it at Marilyn's channel.
I don't feel like I'm familiar with this one at all.
So you gotta
Yes.
check that out.
Mascara and a Speedo. It doesn't have anything
Yes.
to do with the dog, though, right?
So okay, did you see the documentary? Oh Jesus! Oh, it's slipping my mind. What's the name of it, honey?
It's your own quiz.
I know.
You're so
the
cute.
documentary. I can't remember the name of the documentary now. With Will.
I don't remember the name of the documentary, but
Oh jeez. Oh, Holy Hell. Holy Hell.
Holy Hell.
Oh, holy
Holy
hell.
Hell. Yes.
That's right.
There's so many documentaries.
Holy
I
Hell.
actually haven't seen that one. I can think of the cover exactly. So he's in a Speedo and mascara.
Yes. Holy
I
Hell.
know
What
it.
was the name of the cult? Yes. Japan of Green Gables. Buddhafield. Or Butterfield. Yeah.
Yep.
Butterfield, something like that. Ooh,
Yep.
I'm gonna watch it. I love
Yes,
a
watch
new
that one.
world.
Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh.
Ooh.
Seen him in real life? Whoa.
Was he in his
Wow.
speedo when you saw him?
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Yeah, and we do some deep dives. I did that one with Kelly Copter and Clearwater Chad because he loves researching cults. We did one with Vanessa about Heaven's Gate.
I saw that
And
one.
then my friend Peggy, we did a deep dive into the IBLP, which my cult used a lot of those teachings. So that was crazy. That was crazy.
I
But
didn't
yeah,
know
if there's any
much
documentary, if there's any cult that you want to do like a deep dive live stream with too, we'd love to do that with you too.
Yep.
For sure. Have you guys ever seen the movie called Coercion? Have you ever seen or heard of this movie? It is bonkers, and it's based on a true story. It's about this. I'm not even gonna just whatever. Google it. Watch it if you want. It's disturbing. It's a disturbing movie, but I'd be so curious to think what any of you like if you watch it. Message me or be like, let's talk about it because it.
All right.
Yeah, I'm curious.
That's it. If I can find it, for sure.
Never heard of it. That's cool. All right. Let's do it.
If I can find it and if it's not triggering, I'll watch it.
Oh, it's triggering. Sorry.
No, yeah, but I mean, sometimes I can deal with triggering. Sometimes, you know how triggers can work differently. You know, sometimes little things will trigger you and big things will not. So I'll have to give it a try.
View at your own discretion.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Will do.
Awesome. You were gonna do questions.
Yes, you guys can start.
Yeah, absolutely. So Stephen Britton asks, wouldn't picking up a body occur at conception? So how
Yeah, fascinating. From everything I've gathered and understand to be true from my Scientology upbringing, conception is not when the thetan actually takes the body on. It's much later in the progression of like in utero progression. I don't think it's as late as birth always, but it's not at conception because
I thought it was closer to birth.
Yeah, it's like later on, but I've heard lots of people be like, "Oh, the thetan came today." I guess is
oh really?
Yeah, like and maybe that's 6 months pregnant, or maybe that's even earlier. And I know some people also believe that like a thetan can be hanging around you, like waiting for you to get pregnant. But even then, I don't know when they would really take control of the body. For quite a while, the pregnancy is considered like part of the genetic entity, like it's part of the like physiological human, not the thetan.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is why the abortions can be so easily justified, or whatever word you want to use.
Rationalized.
Whatever. Yeah, rationalized. That's the perfect word. Thank you. Because they don't believe that.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah, there's no, which is also very bizarre because if you read Dianetics, the word abortion is mentioned, I think it's 57 times. And L. Ron Hubbard had a huge hang up on it. And so many ailments that people have today, he's like, that's because the mother stuck a coat hanger and tried to abort. And like, oh,
ew.
Yeah, that was very gross that I said that, but that really is in that, that.
No, I know. Yeah, you're right.
Era and that thing. So he blames a lot of lunacy in humans and psychosis on attempted abortions. So I guess the message is like, if you're going to do it all the way. Not my message. The Dianetics message.
But apparently from what I've seen, like Hubbard seems to contradict himself a lot. So
all the time. But he does disdain women. He did disdain women, it does seem, and mothers in particular, which shines through pretty heavily in Dianetics in particular.
Yeah.
Mommy
so I hope that answers your question, Tiff. It is a bit of a mystery, but it's after conception. It is not at the moment of conception. That much I know.
And not before. It's not like the idea that that the conception is the coming up. Yeah, that would be during.
So I could fly around for a while and then find that perfect.
Choose your family.
That perfect fertilized seed to kind of come into or developing fetus to come back into. Okay.
Exactly. Well, and thetans aren't really seen as being inside their bodies either. That's a negative state.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, you're not
How
as
that work?
yeah, well, in theory, thetans don't exist in physical form, so you're just like there. You can also have bodies really far away from you, so it's a whole thing.
But this is so
Wow.
confusing
Make
because
it
it's
make
like
sense, Liz. Make it make
you animate the
sense.
Make it
body.
go right.
I'm a Scientologist, so help me out.
Okay.
You animate the body,
Mhm.
but you're not inside the body, so you could be animating the body from the outside. But then I know I'm not trying to make sense of this right now. I'm just thinking out loud. But then you have body thetans that are attached to the body. So the animating thetan, the main thetan,
Mhm.
doesn't have to be around the body, or doesn't have to be in the body, or is not in the body. But the body thetans are attached to the physical body.
Yes. Because that would be a lower state, right? As a spiritual
Interesting.
being, to be like
Very.
physically attached to a space in a
'Cause
body would be a lower level existence than
very
a fluid
interesting. Because
whatever.
the body
Like,
thetans don't have to be attached outside; they can be inside the body. The body thetans can be inside the body, attached to other parts of the body.
yes, and part of the goal of Scientology is to exteriorize one from the body, because you can exist. I mean, I'm not saying you can exist in the body, but it's not an
Okay.
ideal state. You
Okay.
are and if you are, like I have done in my Scientology upbringing, I have done things where processes, like one was called out int, where I was, what is it now? Trapped out. You could be trapped outside the body. You could be trapped inside the body. You can be, but ideally, you are not inside your body as a
Okay.
Scientology
Yeah, that makes sense.
Satan.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to conceptualize, but there's that old joke, because L. Ron Hubbard had a policy letter where he or a lecture where he's like, the fastest way to exteriorize someone is to put a revolver on the back of their head and pull the trigger. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Thank you.
Marilyn left.
No, she'll
Oh,
be
we're
back. She
losing
said
her?
she'll be right back.
Oh, okay.
She said she'll be right back.
All right. We've got a couple of comments here on Rock Slam. Steve Britton says Rock Slam not making it go right.
I think that's a song, right? Is it a song? Rock slam.
Right.
Oh, I
Make
see.
it go right.
That's good.
That's
Rock
funny.
slam. You don't get
You
to.
don't get to leave the session.
Yeah. Okay. Someone's got to go
Rock
for it.
Slam. Okay.
We should all go.
you've gotta
Rock slam.
Making it go wrong.
Rock Slam.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
So high. How does
So read it.
Sting
Yeah, that's
do
fine.
that?
Somebody read it.
Well, you saw him. A lot of rock slams. Very nice. Here we go. Question from Renee B. Question, Liz. Have you read any LRH fiction? Thoughts on it?
Blech. I tried a little bit. I did. I really did. I really wanted to love Battlefield Earth. I tried.
What about Mission Earth? Was that the other one? Was that the dirty one? The one that
Well, Battlefield Earth had a bunch of in the series, so I think Mission Earth might have been one of them. But yeah,
Battlefield Earth.
They had a lot of young sex slave people in there. My parents had framed art from that they bought as collector art, and now I can't remember the guy's name, but they had a very famous artist commissioned who wasn't in Scientology. I'll have to think of it. So I remember growing up, and there was this huge framed art reprint on the wall, and it was this sex slave lady, but she had on a gas mask, and then she had this creature at her feet, but she was in a scandally clad thing. So I did not delve any deeper than that, because I don't want to. But I have read a lot of other science fiction, like Ursula K. Le Guin, Robert Heinlein, because I did kind of value the science fiction, and I thought L. Ron Hubbard was cool. I thought I was stupid because I couldn't get through one of his books.
I know the feeling. Oh, I'm so dumb because I don't get this very intelligent man. Especially, I can't even imagine in this case when his source, he's the reference you've known your entire life. So how are you gonna question that as him not being?
Yeah, exactly. And growing up, I was under the impression that the reason that he was able to pump out all these stories was because those are his past lives. He's just telling us what happened one day.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Fast for him and so easy. So all of the Battlefield Earth, and like it's hard, it's heavier to read because as a Scientologist, it's like it is science fiction, but it's kind of what happened. So it was just, I didn't enjoy that experience, especially with the underage sex slaves.
Right.
Yeah.
And apparently he was writing those instead of writing the rest of the OT levels. So come on, Ron.
Yeah.
Get your ethics in.
Yeah,
Ron.
priorities straight.
That's right. Bev's playlist says, I worked with someone that was a Jehovah's Witness. Because of watching SPTV, she has now left and is in learning all the programming.
Mm-hmm.
We're not only helping Scientologists, we're also helping other people and cults as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Marilyn has a story about that happened to her recently. Remind us to ask her
That's right.
to tell her that when she comes back.
That's right.
Okay.
Very recently. Yeah, it was pretty
Contacted her
cool.
or something. So I don't know. I'm in Oregon, and we have a lot of Jehovah's Witness communities and population in Oregon.
Oh.
So quick tip for anybody out there. When I'm seeking a therapist, because there's been a couple of times that I've had to like find a new counselor or therapist. Hey, Marilyn. Finding somebody who is familiar with like Jehovah's Witness actually crosses over really well to other high control groups. So if you are seeking some sort of counseling, and you can, again, this is not professional advice. I'm just blindly finding my way through life, and this helped me as an individual. But you can kind of find those bigger groups sometimes if it's not in your area for your particular problem or cult that you're trying to leave. You can find bigger ones, and sometimes there's crossover that can help. Take that for what you will.
Definitely.
Good tip.
What's your story, Marilyn, about do you have a Jehovah's Witness?
Oh,
No,
a Jehovah's Witness. Well, Armageddon was huge in my background, although Jehovah's Witnesses are kind of off in their own thing because they don't believe in the Trinity. So, but a lot of their doctrine.
I'm sorry. Is the Trinity Mother, God?
No,
Father,
it's
Son, and
Father,
Holy
Son, and Holy Spirit. So
Thank you.
Christians believe that God, His Son, and the Holy Spirit are one, or one person. Okay. So Jehovah's Witnesses don't believe that.
Okay.
And so that's mostly where they part ways. Also, so we can do a whole stream on this too. What the basic tenets of Christianity, and there's so many facets of Christianity, and there's the Catholicism versus Protestantism, and then all of the Pentecostals and the Baptists and all that, how they all branched off. But the teaching, the doctrines of fear are a thread that runs through, Jehovah's Witnesses, and the disconnection versus, which is the same as the disfellowshipping, the shunning, things like that. Mainstream Christians don't believe in that. They believe you always have like a thread. Like today I was thinking about when Aaron was talking with what's his name, Jason, and he was talking about nominal Christians, saying that somebody who grew up in Christianity, but they just kind of dabble. They just kind of go, they'll go to mass, like if they're Catholic, or they'll go to, Christian, like a service or whatever here and there, but they're not really, they don't totally like believe it. They can still say they're Christians, right? If they believe the basic, but with the fundamentalist religions like Jehovah's Witnesses, like what I came out of, which is another whole rabbit hole to go down. You are in or you're out. There's a scripture in the Bible that says you're either hot or cold, or God will spew you out of his mouth if you're lukewarm. So it's this constant, like, you're never measuring up. You're never good enough. You always have to toe the mark. You always have the rapture or Armageddon or God's judgment, looming over you. So it's kind of like in Scientology. That's why it is good to have like this, commenter, Bev's playlist is saying, is that it does help to compare the different tactics, because the doctrines of fear is the merchants of fear, right?
Right.
Really is something that is a major control tactic. You know, do right or else.
Right.
And Jehovah's Witnesses is classic for that. You know, you have
But-
to knock on people's
Well,
doors.
I got the watchtowers delivered by my neighbor for like 10 years. And so it's wild. I used to look through and be like, these guys are so intense. Meanwhile, they're probably watching Scientology like, these guys are so intense.
Totally. Yeah.
I've heard Sarah Edmondson, who was in Nexium, you know,
Mm-hmm.
from the Vow. I've heard her say something about like how they thought that everybody say you're in a cult. It's like, oh, you have to call people. Yeah, so we're in a cult of happy people. We're in a cult of successful people.
Right.
And then so what would you think was a cult? Scientology.
Right.
Right.
Which is ironic because Keith Raniere actually studied. Yeah, he stole a bunch of it. I remember watching and being like, why does this feel so familiar? Because you think
He's tiny too. He's really
he?
small too. Yeah.
That's
Fun fact, Liz. That's how I got into Scientology by watching The Vow. Got like obsessed with the psychological process of
Yeah,
it,
okay.
of the indoctrination, and
Yep.
because my first reaction was like, I would have fallen for that. So how does that work? How does one get into that? You know, I was fascinated by it. And then I got the whole thing of how he had studied Scientology. I'm like, I don't know anything about Scientology. So this is during the pandemic, right? I don't know anything about Scientology except it's Tom Cruise's religion, which is whatever.
Right.
And then I started watching it, and then I go like, yeah, I'm trying to understand what these people are talking about, but I don't understand the language.
Right.
You know, like the Scientologies and all of that, you know. So I got very, very interested of trying to understand, you know, and all of that. So never left rabbit hole.
And here you are today. I love it. It's fantastic. I like the idea of like just looking at something and be like, I want to know about that. And then really diving in.
I didn't expect it. It's just like,
It's happened.
Scientology is as fascinating and as interesting as it is insidious and abusive.
It's a train wreck.
And
it's hard to look away.
Yeah.
Well, so I don't know if you guys know this, but I wrote a novel before I actually wrote this.
Really? No.
Oh no,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah, I did. It's about a 1950s housewife who believes her husband is a pedophile. And instead of going to the police, she joins a self-help group. And then she ends up going to Scotland and the headquarters. And it's all about her like individual journey. Obviously, it's fiction. I made up my own group, but it's very much me processing like my grandmother's story because I was raised to believe I was my grandmother in a past life in Scientology. And so she was the one that got our family in. And I always wondered, like, how did that work? She died before I was born. So how did that all go down? But my grandfather was a very horrible, disgusting, perverted individual. Well, I guess he's dead, so I can say that. So I wrote this novel sort of like, what the hell? So anyway, my point was just to say that the cult is called The Technique because when I found out that Keith Raniere and Nexium called their stuff the tech, that he had taken that from Scientology, my interest was, and it turns out there are a few cults that call it their sort of world, the tech. So I thought that was really cool. So that was my point.
Looking forward to that one after this one.
Long-winded. Yeah. Hopefully by the end of the year, to be honest, because it's done. I just I don't know. It's just
amazing.
Is that the little character that you have up in the upper right of your screen? Is that based on that 1950s housewife, or is that a little different?
Sort of. That's from my book now, The Confessions of an Ex-Scientologist Pothead, and she is a throwback. Yeah, the whole actual cover of my book. Look, I just got this big poster made.
Ooh.
Oh my God.
There it is. Wow.
Yeah.
I love it.
So, I'm gonna put it on my wall, and I said this earlier to somebody, but like I printed the one that had a little typo. I've got 2 little quotes here, and I like it. So in case I ever get big headed about my giant success, I can be like, I make a typo. Anyway,
I love that.
It's a little bit hard to see on this one, but the background is like a print of a green fibrous cover. And that is a throwback to the original Dianetics. The original Dianetics cover had a green fiber and had like some polka dots. Some of my like little promotional things I've just messed around with have like green with polka dots. And the 1950s. Yeah, because that's just kind of the girl who made this is in my writing group. So she knows about that novel as well. So she knows my whole vibe.
Nice.
So yeah,
Okay.
it's all kind of a tie-in. And I also decided I'm gonna write another one of these, and instead of ex-Scientologist pothead, I'm gonna do ex-Scientologist mom. I'm gonna write a second one that's just all
Nice.
about parenting, like that kind of thing. Not like advice, just processing. Nobody should listen to me about anything ever. Like,
Except hear my stories. They're my stories.
Yeah, your experience is your
Yeah.
Your story is your story.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I would definitely read that. I mean, my kids are in their 20s, so a little too late for them, but I'm very, very interested in that because I just fumbled my way through trying to half raise the kids after leaving a cult, you know.
Right. Well, the world's hard enough. It's hard enough to raise a kid without that, you know, on top. Well, then we can also do that one. And then later we'll do a grandma one when we're both caught up.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Many plans for the future.
So we're at
You guys
about
wanna
2
tackle those
hours.
questions?
Can we do a few more questions? Yeah.
We have a few more questions.
You want to take some more questions, Liz? I know we're coming up on the 2 hour mark, but
no worries.
All right.
Sweet.
Oh, who's clicking? Not me. It's not me.
Who's trying to take it over?
I clicked on Jeff. I didn't know.
Jeff will get to you. Jeff will get to you next.
I clicked on the top one. Well, go ahead, honey.
I got you. I was just hitting the ones that had Liz's name in them, but yeah, we can get to Jeff. We'll go to Jeff next.
Okay.
So from Free Xenu Project, question, Liz, how long would I have to do the Purif for being an 18-year everyday pot smoker and ate so many mushrooms I can't count? Asking for a friend.
Yeah, asking for a friend. Well,
you ran out of room to say that.
Yeah. I mean, the good news for you is that it costs the same amount of money. So that's the good news for you, but probably a really long time. Actually, I know that this is a joke and this isn't really what's being asked, but when you do actually do the Purif, you just do it until you have a specific cognition, which is like you come to a certain realization that's listed as. So it could take you 3 weeks. It could take you 3 days. Nobody really takes 3 days, but it could take you 3 months. I haven't heard of anybody doing it that long, but Free Xenu Project, you and me are going to be in that sauna for a long time. Long time.
At least you'll have company.
Yeah. And the theory, I could talk about this forever, but like I heard a story when I was young that they think it brings everything out of your body. So like apparently the story is someone was on the Purif and a little dot appeared, a little blue dot appeared. And then the next day it got bigger and the next day it got bigger and bigger. And they were like, the way out is the way through. So if something turns on, it's called like if something happens, you can't stop until it's done. So, and it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And then slowly one day they sweat out ink. And they were stabbed by a ballpoint pen when they were a kid. It was still in their body.
Wow.
Liz, have you seen Reckless Ben's series, Infiltrating Scientology?
I've seen a couple of them. He's actually
when they do the Purif, they do the whole thing. I'm sweating blue. They do that.
Right? That's probably why. I haven't seen that.
That's
I'm going to find that.
Yeah.
That is probably.
Oh yeah, you got to make it. You got to make it end to end. I feel bad for Xenu in the cave.
They create such a story. They create such a story, such a narrative,
It's
and it's all science fiction-y. They create alternate timelines and time travel and all. It's
Ooh,
very
Yeah.
very interesting.
Yeah. Strangely
It's
makes
fun.
sense at the end too.
It does.
That's right.
Those are
All right,
solid.
Marilyn, you get the next one.
All righty. Jeff says, I thought squirreling was when someone did auditing and gave coursework outside the official church.
Yeah, that's a version of squirreling. Squirreling just means that you're altering the tech like in any way or the source of the tech. So the only acceptable route for receiving Scientology is to go to the Church of Scientology, to buy their books, to have their services in their organization. So if you do, independent Scientologists, yes, that's all squirreling, but it can be as simple as, like as a child, I wasn't allowed to explain a Scientology concept to one of my peers or correct them. I would have to refer them to the source, because even me explaining like Natter, for example, is actually technically squirreling because I'm not the source. So it's actually not my right or privilege to explain any concepts to anybody else. You have to go back and read what L. Ron Hubbard himself wrote. Anything other than that is sort of on a sliding scale squirreling. Someone doing auditing and course outside of the official church is like the most squirreling, the highest level of squirreling, where you're going to get the squirrel busters. But squirreling can even be down to, just like communicating a church concept through your own words. You're
Verbal
not
text.
That's a form of squirreling. You're not allowed to do that.
So this is what
you're describing. It's called verbal text. Is that what verbal text is? What you're describing?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is why Tom Cruise and Kirstie Alley, when she was on Big Brother, their only answer is go read the book.
Read a book.
You read the
That makes sense.
I'm not going to explain this to you, even though you can very easily explain Christianity to me.
Right.
Go read a book. Go read the book.
Yes.
That's also
anything other than that is essentially like diluting or muddying the concept, because L. Ron Hubbard is the only acceptable source.
Okay.
So
that actually is. That's actually a very interesting. Now that Steve said that is also a very interesting tool of control, because up until this point I was thinking, I know they tell people to go read a book, and it seems like a cop out, but inside the Scientology mindset, it makes perfect sense. That's not just a cop out; it's really the right thing to do. It's like to refer you to the source. That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah. So the perception about the average Scientologist saying that to you, like, I can't tell you, look at the book. The average perception would be like, what a pompous dick. They just want to sell a book, or they don't want to answer me. But in reality, that person might be saying that response to you because they actually think they're protecting you, because they would never want to get false information, because I can harm you both physically and spiritually. So, which is why I go back often to like try to remind people that like individual Scientologists typically are really are good people. These weird things that they're doing, they might not be really doing it to harm you, like it seems. There's just like other things going on.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I'll take that shit back, Marcus. Sorry.
Whatever you said, Marcus, take it back.
Yeah, she's gonna take that shit back.
I'm taking all that shit that Hubbard
Take it
stole
all.
back.
Destiny Salazar says, Liz, I admire how much you just want everyone to heal from this cult, despite what sins they may have committed. Each person can make a choice to give the future a chance for a better life.
Thank you, Destiny. I really appreciate that. I know that some of what I am and what I represent is not popular. It's not going to be a popular opinion, but because I was talking about Danny Masterson earlier, I think if there's not some hope for us, what are we doing? Like what are we doing here? I don't know how else to say it. Like if there can't be hope for everybody, then I find that unacceptable. So thereby I grant hope to all. Sorry, it's done.
There we go.
Amen.
Very good.
And Scooby-Doo has spoken. You go, girl. You go, girl. Congratulations on your book, Liz.
Thank you. I want to roll around a little SP mobile, and I like open the back, and it's like all these books, cult books, and I can just like go from town to town educating people. But there has to be the Scooby-Doo like smoke coming out of my vehicle.
Totally.
Yeah. So I love the Scooby-Doo. Love it.
That'd be great.
Nice.
Thank you.
I'm very confused because we have John Sostowski, who we call Scooby-Dooski, and now there's an actual Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doos are multiplying.
They are.
Yeah.
Scooby-Doos
Goodness,
are
oh,
multiplying. Chad's right. Chad did it.
John, we're going to need some Scooby-Doo dolls next.
Yep.
Poor John.
Marcus in Theta says, Liz, P.E.S. Looking forward to your book.
Thank you.
Y'all, I know Monica is a joke and drinking game. But Liz, all jokes aside, it's nice to see another CC-aligned Div Sixer out in the open.
Hey, N Theta. I feel like I learned a little bit about you. That's great. Yeah, we're here. We're out. Div Sixers. We can go over the Oxford capacity analysis. That was my job, was to give people the personality test. Spoiler alert, the answer is you're fucked up in either A,
Scientology
B,
can
C, or
save
E, and Scientology will fix you.
By the way, Marcus said, Monica, everybody drink.
Oh,
Everybody who's
water
partaking in
tonight.
the game.
I've been drinking a little bit of wine.
I have water too, but that's fine.
Good stuff.
I'm usually the only one drinking wine, so I'm like, I'll be good tonight. Drink some water.
Fair enough. I told you I worked 2 jobs. I literally got off work and I was like, I'm taking a glass of wine to this live. That's
Yeah.
all.
I just didn't do it because I have an early morning, so
Why
otherwise
not?
I could have gotten some wine tonight.
It's way earlier here too. It's 8 o'clock for me. So
Oh, okay.
Midnight
yeah,
here.
I got
Yeah,
hours. Yeah.
I still
Someone
have to
asked what a
pack.
right? Someone asked what a Div Sixer. A Div Sixer is in the Scientology, the way that Scientology breaks down their organizations. They have divisions. So Div stands for division, and Six is the public division. So it's in charge of bringing new people into the church through introductory courses, personality tests, in charge of like that whole introductory area where you like walk in and they have stuff to touch and look at and things like that, and events. So
Peace and love. I would need a THC IV drip to do any Scientology.
I can guarantee you get that THC IV drip and you will just start laughing hysterically. They're like, we need you to tell this ashtray what to do. Can you please command this ashtray? Yeah. And you're just like, so they don't allow THC IV drips in there. Sorry.
Mhm.
No.
I've actually never heard of that either. Sign me up.
THC IV drip. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
bring it on. Bring it
Yeah.
on.
Sounds like a Vegas amenity.
Scooby Doo again. Scooby Doo says Reese said her dad called her sugar at birth, and that's why she has diabetes.
Mhm.
Your thoughts?
Sounds perfectly logical to me. No, but I understand the thinking. I have to say, I do understand the thinking. And this is why one of the things that I get really frustrated with Dianetics and early Scientology in particular is because it's believed that while you're pregnant and giving birth and that whole early life's time, someone can say that. Like when you're giving birth, someone can be like, oh, sugar, you're okay. And it's like, oh, well, you gave your kid diabetes. Way to go. You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, I forget all of the examples, but there's things like, a husband when their wife is giving birth, saying things to them like, oh, just you wait. We're going to be fine. You'll see. And it's like, oh, that's why your child's nearsighted. You said you'll see. So it's very bizarre. And it seems very much up to interpretation. But yes, the actual literal meaning of your words is supposed to give these debilitating or lifelong diseases or developmental delays or special needs or mental health conditions, whatever it is, very often is traced back to a phrase like that, like sugar or, and a lot of wife beating is mentioned also. It's like, you knocked your wife around and you were like, you're so stupid. And then lo and behold, your child is born and like they have the IQ of 10. I guess that actually does correlate, but you know what I mean. So it's these very specific little terms.
Wow.
Which is really so much pressure. As a mother, to think you could say one word that would send your in utero child into a literally being locked up in a mental health facility because you said one word wrong when you were giving birth, or you like bumped into a table and you were like, oh shit. And like, oh, IBS for your kid. You did that. So anyway,
Wow.
that's my thoughts, Scooby-Doo. I think it's bullshit, but I do understand the concept behind it. And I think it's bullshit.
So a lot of comments about your book. Penny says Liz will make all book announcements on her daily lunchtime lives. The next is tomorrow at 9 a.m. What is that, Pacific Standard Time? What is that?
Yeah, that time actually
Pacific-
might not be right. But yes, tomorrow I'm gonna do it. You guys are gonna be so sick of me in 10 days. My whole book plan is just to get out there and talk about it as much as possible. And I will make announcements as soon as it's available or pre-orders available. I'll let you know. I have a learning curve. I might need an extra day.
All right. Well,
Looking
keep us
forward to it.
posted.
Yeah.
All right.
Keep us posted.
Thanks, number 5.
Nice.
Burke, Wind, and Fire has a pretty hilarious
funny.
envisionment here. Thetans basically riding sperm like cowboys into the egg, then posting a sign saying seats taken while they exteriorize until birth.
That's so funny because in this scenario, I'm imagining some squatters that were like already there, and those are the BTs.
Yes.
They like have like a cardboard box, and they're like lighting a barrel on fire, like in the back of the egg, just like, haha, we're waiting.
Oh, I love this question. I've always wondered this. Free Zeno Project said, question, Liz, did you ever find a way to make your needle float when it technically shouldn't have, like others have?
Yes, and that's a suppressive act. That was the first suppressive act that I was guilty of. I learned pretty early on that I could do that, and it's not hard. But I got feedback that anybody who does that is a suppressive person, is a sociopath, is like really, really bad. So I think it was like maybe 4 years after I was done with Scientology that I just like whispered to a friend, just like, one time I made the needle float and it didn't, and I still felt so guilty. Like I really thought I was a sociopath. Which I don't know if you guys know me very well yet, but like I'm pretty sure I'm not a sociopath. Pretty sure now. But yes, I have made my needle float, and I thought that I was a horrible person for doing so until about like 3 years ago.
The amount of guilt, it's just like every other religion.
Yeah, and the fact that I could do it.
Guilt trip.
The fact that I was capable of doing it made me think there was something, like that I was inherently like
I see
really
the
bad,
difference.
like capable of really bad things. But it's just a skin
Not so much
test, essentially. You just calm down. It's not even a full lie detector. I'd be curious if I could pass a lie detector.
I've heard Aaron
Probably
say
could.
that every Scientologist has their own way to make the needle float, that everybody knows how to make a needle float. They have their own way.
Yeah, well, I mean, that makes sense because you're not leaving unless your needle floats, right? You're not moving on. You're not done. Like whatever you're, and they do it after OW reps. They do it after behavior modification, negative behavior modification. They do it as well. So for me, I would have to write up my crimes until I got a floating needle. So you could go to the needle and they're like, oh, you must have more. I'm like, I just wrote up things I did in a past life. Like what more? I'm 9 years old. What could I possibly have? But technically, if you kill an ant swarm, I did think I killed a population. So that read for me on the needle when they were asking me, like, have you ever like killed a population? I was like, yes, I really have. There was like 500 ants there and I killed them. I was like, 7. Anyway, we're going off on a tangent, but I could not get out of there. And so I probably disassociated, and that's how my needle floated.
Very interesting comment about the guilt, because I was thinking like, yeah, it's similar to any kind of guilt. Like I have Catholic guilt, thinking you're going to hell, and it takes a long time to overcome that, but it doesn't go as of course Scientology is always worse. It doesn't go as deep as thinking that I'm a horrible person, like I'm a psychopath, because I was able to do that once.
Right.
It's darker. Hubbard, man.
Yeah, well, and I mean, I guess he didn't want people to fake that test, so he put the pressure pretty heavy on people that might. So, yeah, but there is another thing to consider that there's a little caveat that SPs, true suppressive people, according to Scientology, never think they're suppressive. So if you're questioning whether you're suppressive, you're not. So if that made me feel better because I was like, am I suppressive? And it's
That's a
like,
good
no,
point.
you thought you might be. So I thought at Scientology, you can't call me suppressive anymore, even now. Boom. Yeah.
Love it. Oops, I get the wrong one. Bo Beats. Hey, Bo Beats. Liz. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
I was thinking about that strange email you got and figured that whomever sent it is at least watching your content. So the good news is perhaps their cognitive dissonance is waning.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, that's a great thought, Bo Beats. I'm seeing it a little differently. I think that the person who sent me that is in trouble. I think that I am causing trouble and that they were called in to somehow put pressure on me. If it's the person I think it is, there's no cognitive dissonance. They're in it to win it, baby. And I think they're going to be in it to win it forever. Because I believe it's my stepfather. That's who I believe sent that message, because he does deeply care about my mother more than Scientology, right? That wasn't the email didn't say, think about Scientology, think about your church. It said, think about your mother, you know? And that's also my biggest thing. Like, I deeply do care about my mother, which is why I'm not going to enable any more generations of my mother's family to continue down this path. So I love the idea. I really do. But I don't know that person's not gonna. I would be shocked, Bo Beats. Like, I'll be shocked. Like, you could smash a pie in my face. Like, you can cut my hair or something if that person is actually experiencing cognitive dissonance, because they can't afford to.
think so.
They can't afford
Not your hair. I love your hair.
I know. Okay, fine. I won't cut my hair. That was.
We all come to look at the hair. We all have hair envy.
my head. No,
No.
I won't.
All right, can you translate this one from Marcus?
Well, this they were the FSM-IC at CC Int, Melrose. So I'm not sure so much about the Melrose, but the FSM is a field staff. Why can't I think of the last
Member?
word? Member, thank you.
You're welcome.
Member word, thank you.
Well, I am the science theologist
Thank
after all.
you. That's a public person who is allowed to practice Scientology, and they kick back to the church. So FSM-IC would be the person in Division 6 who's in charge of all the people out there in the community who are charging money for auditing sanctioned by the church. So it's definitely a balance. You have to balance some relationships there, right? Because you don't want your field staff members thinking, oh, I can just cut Scientology out of the loop. So there's like a give and take, because field staff members can only usually do up to a certain level, and then they will give their people to the higher organizations of the church. So good for you and Theta. Good for you.
Okay, that might be a long answer, but you can just
Sure.
abbreviate it. Class 5 org and Class 8 auditor.
So there's different levels of Scientology organization, org, are allowed to deliver certain services. So a Class 5 can deliver up to, I think it's through the grades. But then once you hit that, you're done there, you're going to go to the higher level churches like Flag or the Free Winds or whatever. It's how their pyramid continues to work, right? Like, you get them in the door, and then everybody eventually has to go to these few advanced Scientology churches. So Class 5 org just means they're allowed to deliver up through a certain level, which is right before OT levels. Regular organizations, Class 5, cannot do OT levels. And then a Class 8 is just, again, it's just like a level of auditor. I think that's the highest you can go now. But when my mom did it, you could go much higher, like Class 12. So it's just like a status symbol. just a ranking, essentially, what you're allowed to do. If that makes sense.
Oops, I double clicked.
Sorry, I did
double
that.
tapped. Oh, okay,
Go ahead.
you did it. We did that. We did that together. Tim Greenglass asks, wouldn't a child be covered with the unevicted body thetans of the parent?
So this is a very technical question, Tim, that a really high trained Scientologist might come up with a different answer for. But from my just basic understanding, having grown up in it, yes, you can be born with other people's body thetans in you, your body of the parent, but you also have your own because there's a cellular connection, like a genetically cellular connection. It gets really deep. It's really bizarre. But this is high level. This is very confidential stuff that I have not taken those courses directly from Scientology. So I'm not the expert, but I will say, yes, that's why many Scientologists very much want to be OT or clear before they have a child. Right. And it's kind of a silly ongoing joke. But when you release a body thetan, they should be able to go on and be a whole big thetan. Like, you should release them and then they can go on and get a body. So like, you could be, this is so stupid. This is the 12-year-old boy in me. Like, I could be a reincarnated genetic entity or body thetan that L. Ron Hubbard like audited out of his dick. I could be L. Ron Hubbard's penis reincarnated thing. I mean, I could be.
It could be.
I could be.
It's possible.
It's possible. I have the red hair. So.
Yeah, there you go. There's proof. There's evidence.
Your teeth look better than his, though.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Wow. Thank God.
Question, Liz, how do I get an autographed copy of your book?
That's a sweet question. I will let you know when they're ready, but my plan is to sell a few on my website. That's my plan. So then you would come to my website, rusticandresourceful.com, get a signed copy.
Post that here.
And I would send it to you.
I'll be there.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Excellent. Looking forward to it.
Yep.
Bo Beat says, I love that Mark Headley made his needle float by thinking of thinking of a Depeche Mode concert. Not Claire, Depeche Mode.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, your long-term relationship partner, like, they might be a wonderful comfort for you, but it's hard to trust they're going to give you a floating needle, because if you had an upset with them, like thinking in the Scientology mindset, if you had like an argument about your like hash browns that morning, you can't risk that. You must bet on something purely joyous like Depeche Mode. For me, I kind of think of like an open grassy field and everything's just cool there.
Totally.
Yep.
I suppose Mark does have the negativity towards Claire consistently writing him up. So
You never know. Well, and I mean, honestly, if he thought of Claire, like, it sounds like they were kept apart from each other sometimes. And like,
Yeah, a
they
lot.
weren't, I mean, like, if you miss somebody, that's not going to give you the cleanest needle. You cannot afford to think of somebody that you have big feelings for. It's got to be something like really easy. At least that's my experience. Like really easy, like nothing too deep.
That makes sense.
So it's a testament to his love of Claire.
Yeah, I think today is their 31st anniversary, I think.
I
Something
saw
like that, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
that.
yeah,
Happy
Claire's been talking
anniversary,
about
Mark.
it. Yeah.
Mark and
Claire's been
Claire.
talking about it, though. They made almost 31 years, and I saw it, I think, on Facebook. But yeah.
Happy anniversary.
That's rare in Scientology. I mean, like, they're not in
yeah.
Scientology, but it's rare to have
And
that
it's their
long
first marriage, too. Right. They're only
To have
married.
stayed
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Stephen Britton says, Liz, help me. I've always thought I'm a suppressive. Now you tell me that if I think I'm a suppressive, I'm not. Help me. I'm a Scientologist. You are not.
It is a interesting mind loop, isn't it, though? Like, but rest assured, you're not a suppressive person. So you're fine. You're okay. But yeah, it's a weird, but if anybody ever accuses you of being a suppressive person, I feel like it's a great card to have. You're like, actually, I couldn't possibly be a suppressive person because I thought I was a suppressive person once. So boom, in your face.
There you go. There you go.
Boom.
Boom.
Mic drop.
Yeah.
Blow Drill says, I support and love you telling your truth, Liz.
Thanks, Blow Drill. It's nice. It's nice to have the luxury, even if it's so later in life. It's nice to have the luxury. Thank you.
And Destiny says, good for you, Liz. We stand behind you. We got you. You've got a lot of love and support and admiration here.
I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that, you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, so I think that's a good note to wind down on. I can't believe it's been 2.5 hours. It went by so fast.
Yeah,
It did. It did.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us, and
thanks for having me.
Quizzing us.
Thanks for humoring my quizzes. I appreciate
totally.
Loved it.
Quiz was great.
Oh, I love them.
I've never done quizzes with anybody else. I plan on it, but it's been only with you guys. I've done my only 2. So
that's right.
Thank you. Thank
That's
you.
really fun.
Never ends. Are you with me?
Thank
Do you guys
you.
want to try the next harder one?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, I got to study the bonus. Yeah, I got to study more.
Bring them on. No, I won't study. I'll just,
It's funny. I either knew him or yeah.
Well, I'm glad maybe I brought one new thing to the table. So
yeah, that was
very
that's really
interesting.
fun.
Cool.
It's really fun, and I don't know how to do a PowerPoint, but I want to quiz you with some other cult stuff because I'm like really into learning about all different cults. So
I'm totally in.
Awesome.
Well,
All right.
Just a reminder, everybody, please check out, subscribe. Oh, wait, this is the website.
that's not
Never mind.
subscribe,
This
but
is the
that's just
website.
check out the website.
Check out Liz's website, https://www.rusticandresourceful.com.
Yep.
Do we have the address to the YouTube channel too?
Boom.
Is it just
Mine,
Liz?
I'm just at Liz Gale. Yep.
Liz Gale.
Yep.
Underscore in between each of the words.
I heard somewhere that in order to buy my book, people had to be exposed to my name 7 times for marketing. So I'm just cutting 2 right there.
There you go. That
Smart.
works.
Liz Gale. I like it. I like it.
Nice.
Steve, the other way. There you go.
There we go. Can you see him?
There
Can you
he
see
is.
Ed
Let me
209 up there? Oh no,
Oh, no,
that's
no,
too
I
small.
cannot. No, yeah.
I see
sorry.
the SP never ends.
Yes.
Under
he's
the
showing
SP never ends. There's
Something inside his
RoboCop and his little
Notorious.
bad guy. His
Oh,
little
and
bad
you're
guy friend.
yes.
Yeah, in the dark. I will. Free Xenu Project. I will bring them out on Wednesday for.
Oh, please do.
Nice.
We've all been dying to see that.
For Xenu Nation.
Nice.
Yeah, we've had some people asking about it. Yep, they're
Before
still
we
there.
go,
Okay.
I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead. No, you're up.
No, but I was gonna say before we go, I just would like to ask Liz not to leave the studio for us to talk for just a second before we let you go. If you can
And
give us just 1
everyone
minute.
subscribe to Liz. Watch her channel. She's got lives already on there. You got some videos, and make sure you catch her lives. And this week, rolling up to the launch of her book, so we'll all be watching and waiting, and we're really, really excited.
Absolutely.
Liz's
That's right.
quizzes.
Liz's
Liz's
quizzes.
With the culty questions.
I
Yes,
love it.
I
I
love
gotta
it.
get a wine buzz and then record myself saying it with a slur, and then that will be my intro.
There we go.
Oh,
That
Oh,
works.
perfect.
sounds good. Sounds good.
And
All
hey,
right,
just
thank
one,
you very
just
much,
just one
Liz.
more reminder for everybody tonight at midnight Clearwater time. That's midnight. What is that? Eastern Daylight Time.
23 minutes.
Over at
Yep.
Denver Stevo, unless you're already at Denver Stevo, we will be having Sleeping with Stevo. So come on over and relax for the evening, hang out, have some nice chat while the channel is open, and we'll have some nice sounds. I think it's some nice forest sounds tonight. along with
course.
some pretty lights
Bible
behind
version.
us. So yeah.
I really
Nice.
look forward to sleeping with you one day.
Sleeping with Steve-O.
All right. Every Monday night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right, guys. Thank you, Liz. Thank you,
All right.
everybody.
Everybody.
Good night,
See
everyone.
you next time. Good
All right,
night.
buddy.
Bye.
Good night.
Aw.